then we met at the drama festival. So I got to meet people from other schools, and we became friends within that very short period. So they told me, bro, umeyonja kitu. I looked at it and I was like, I usually see these things around, when I go for family gatherings. They are usually available. Kanambi umeyonja, I'm like, my parents would kill me. Kambi wasiwonje sasa, your parents are not here. Bro, nilitapika. After taking that time, we had sachets of those drinks. Thank God nowadays those things don't exist.
Sachets?
Yes.
Those things are buying into a sachet?
Yes, one zitanga sachet, but I mean zitanga sachet. So I got a sachet and I took it. Bro, first of all, the high was great. I can't remember. It was one of those funny brands. To be honest, I can't remember because they're no longer being sold. They're actually no longer in the market. I was given that thing, took it, and then ikaniharibikia. Bro, nilitapika. And that was my first and last encounter with alcohol until very much later in life. Yeah, but Kisumu City gave me a proper malaria nilishikwa nayo. Wacha tu.
Ile ya kimataifa.
It was the one and only time I ever got malaria in my life. But you remember I told you there's one time I worked in Kisumu for an entire year. Not a single day did I get malaria. Yeah. So vicissitudes.
Mwili ilikuwa mekamata MOU. Na parasite.
Right. Vicissitudes tulikuja number 3 nationally, and I actually got awarded best actor that year.
You?
Yes.
Good for you, man.
Thank you so much.
Good for you, man.
Do you know what we're celebrating today? The United Nations have told us, or rather have told us, yes, they actually have told us that we are celebrating the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. Yeah. I don't know why it's international yet. It's about 10 countries that actually have nuclear weapons. They should make that day like a 10 country celebration, because I don't think there's a single country in Africa that has nuclear weapons. I don't think there's a single country in Latin America that has nuclear weapons. Watu wako na weapons hapa na tunaweza taja hizo countries. The United States of America. We also have, I think the United Kingdom have nuclear weapons. I could be wrong on this, but I think they actually have. The United Kingdom, they have, right? Then, of course, we have Big Brother, Russia. And we also have North Korea. We also have Russia, not Russia. Yeah, did I say Russia? Yeah.
China.
China wako nayo.
India
wako na nuclear weapons?
Yes.
Wow.
Pakistan.
And Pakistan?
Yes.
Pakistan?
Yes.
Hii Pakistan moja yenye walikuwa mehaba Osama bin Laden?
Yes.
Okay.
Israel umetaja sio?
Israel sijawataja, so that makes 9 countries so far.
There's a time South Africa also had the capacity, but I don't think they ever built one.
In Africa, why would you be arming yourself with nuclear weapons? Why on earth? Actually, let me just search this real quick. Which countries have nuclear weapons? Jamani ski kwani?
It's early in the morning, Chief.
Let me try that again. Which country has nuclear weapons? Let me see. Yes, so they are telling us the United States, Russia, France, China, the UK, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. So in total, the global nuclear stockpile is close to 13,000 weapons. So how many countries are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 9 countries. Yeah, 9 countries, nuclear weapons. Sijui mbona tunaingizwa kwa historia yao ya International Day of International Day of what again? International Day of the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. Wenyewe waongee. These 10 countries, they sit down and they decide if they want to continue with this nonsense. Yeah, so that is what is being celebrated all over the world. City, leo methali yako inatupeleka wapi?
Bado tuko Tunisia, brother.
Bado tuko Tunis.
The Republic of Tunisia.
So yesterday,
Tunis,
yes,
is the capital city.
Yesterday you told us, sijui a bald lady does what to the hair of the sister.
A bald lady boasts of her sister's hair.
Right. So today tell me we are boasting of which hair?
Well, today we are going to become amphibians. He who sleeps with frogs becomes a croaker.
Huh?
He who sleeps with frogs becomes a croaker.
Why are our brothers in Tunisia just being weird now? Number 1, why would anyone sleep with frogs? Number 2, at what point do they start croaking?
If you think it is strange, Let me just read another proverb from that same place. He who is used to your supper gets hungry whenever he sees you.
Yeah. Those are entitled people, eh?
Sasa. Umepotea.
Siku mingi.
Kwa nini umenitupa? Yes, that's a preamble to a request.
Right. Actually, there are people whose phone calls I see and I don't answer. Because I already know where that conversation will end, or rather how that conversation will end.
So just pick it.
No. Once bitten, twice shy. Or rather, in my case, 10 bitten, 11 shy. Yeah, because there are folks, and sometimes, unfortunately, they are relatives. When they call, anaanza tu vizuri sana, nimekuona kwa TV. Kwanza, this job we do is sometimes really a bad one, because someone calls you and says, nimesikia hiyo point umesema ya Israel. Noma. Leo ni Friday bana. Si ununui hata chai.
You know how people speak. There was once someone once called in, and this is what they said. Even people like ZT who earn 2 million. That's the day I knew of the people who listen to the show.
Right.
My relatives.
Yes.
Message. Hey, brother. Yes. After the show, some were calling. I don't know what they were thinking, but after the show,
yes,
I looked at my phone. The messages, invitations. I knew it was because of that caller.
Right. Straight away.
And almost half of those messages, there's a request somewhere.
Yeah.
I decided to answer a few. This is how some of these poets begin. I have this problem, which to you is a very small problem. That one?
Hiyo kidogo tutakosana. Niko na kashida fulani lakini najua kwako si shida kubwa sana.
Hii ni kidogo. Hii ni shida unaweza. Then they lay it on you. But you see, once upon a time, such things used to upset me.
Right.
They no longer do. I will listen to you very keenly.
Yes.
And I thank you for calling. I may mention the request or I may ignore it altogether. But I'll tell you, let's talk again soon.
Okay.
A few brave souls said, what about you? This is a request I made, you hear it? I said, I did.
Yeah.
And I've responded. But
sijaona kitu?
I said, that's the response.
City, I want to work with you more often, so that I can give these kinds of responses. Ricardo Mariera amesema, good morning kings and queens. Movies zilikuwa zinaitwa Sapphire Sachet. Yes. That's the drink. He has reminded me. Thank you so much, Ricardo. I feel like Ricardo and I could be age mates. Anasema zilikuwa zinaitwa Sapphire Sachets. Thank you very much, Ricardo, for that reminder. Let's get on to our website. Please, why don't you join us on rgk.co.ke, where you'll get to see our very handsome faces and get to interact with us on the same website as far as our stories are concerned. You can also find us on YouTube at Radio Generation Kenya, 88.8 FM in Nairobi, 90.7 FM in Mombasa. Right now, though, let's see. Tanya Wanjiko. Tanya anamkanga mapema. This story has been published 29 minutes ago.
Thank Tanya for tuning in, please.
Yeah.
Say, Tanya, thank you very much for tuning in this early morning.
Tanya, thank you so much for tuning in this early morning.
Yes.
So here we go. Let's see what Tanya has written. Nearly half of Kenyan women opt out of having more children, according to a health report. Nearly half of Kenyan women say they no longer want more children or are considering permanent methods such as sterilization, pointing to changing reproductive choices in the country. A new Ministry of Health report reveals. The report unveiled on Thursday during the national update on the family planning program shows that 46% of women aged 15 to 40... Wait, what? Aged 15? That 46% of women aged 15 to 49 either wish to stop childbearing completely or prefer sterilization.
All right.
Can we address that 15?
No. That needs to be segregated further.
Right.
That was the what they call the sample size was between that range.
Okay.
That's a range. So long as you fell within that range, you're eligible for the study.
Okay.
So. And the reason why something like 15 is chosen, because they have understood that there are still communities in this country where a 15-year-old girl gets married and has children.
But that's illegal.
It is completely illegal.
Yeah.
I am merely telling you
that it happens.
Yes. And the thinking that they even get married is abhorrent to you. But the sexual debut begins much earlier.
Okay.
So they are included because previous research shows that demographic is at a childbearing phase.
Yeah.
Yes.
The reason I'm shocked is because I have nieces who are this age and I cannot believe them making a choice between childbearing and otherwise.
It's because you haven't spoken to them. That's why you do not know.
Okay, so another day to be scared about this world and what it's all about. But fine, you've said sample size 15 to 49. Perhaps this we shall address it. We shall address it at a different time. So, so this says that they have either opted to stop childbearing completely or prefer sterilization.
That's something I would hesitate to advocate. When you're young, you may make a decision that you think is sound at that particular point in time. But when you get older, you'll wish you had made that decision. Some of these decisions, there are ways in which you can determine whether you will actually get pregnant or not. There are ways in which you can determine whether you will be in a position to impregnate someone or not. You really do not need to take some of these very extreme measures.
Like sterilization, because you know that's permanent.
That's what I'm saying. It is not necessary.
Yeah, you can choose to use contraception. You can choose to abstain. Yeah.
Abstinence actually works, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that one is a sure bet. Unless, of course, you're Mary, Mother of Jesus. Then that's a completely different story. But you get what I mean, right? So abstinence definitely one choice. Yeah.
Sana. Nail by mouth. Saidia sana.
Yeah.
Yes.
Celibacy for
kwanza inasaidia hiyo.
Hiyo ndio inasaidia zaidi.
Yes, and for those who think it's a problem, do not worry, my friend. Hair won't grow on your forehead. Nothing adverse will happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
People usually say, oh, if you don't, you know, some of these parts of our anatomy, if you don't use them, then they become obsolete.
What the fall off?
That's nonsense. Yeah.
It's absolute and undiluted nonsense.
Yeah.
But the things we want to believe. Usually it's when you want to justify something. So you find some truly hackneyed logic. And
yeah. And then you propagate it.
Cut and paste. Unajua hii. And you speak with a vigor and conviction. Somebody believes it to be true, and that thing is absolutely false.
Yeah.
But that you are giving it thought and that you are planning is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sterilization, personally, also, guys, there are some things I will just come out and say they are an African.
Extreme.
Hiyo nitakuja niwaambie tu it's an African. You'd rather abstain, use contraception, go get those injections, of which also I have something against those injections and the pills and basically the hormonal medications. Those ones I also think kidogo tricky. A further 30% said they would like to delay their next pregnancy, while 17% want another child soon. This means 3 out of every 4 women require some form of contraception. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I follow a lot of celebrities in the States.
YouTube, sikunakuwaga na movies hapo.
YouTube zimejaza movies za Nigeria. Hiyo si kaliba yangu, bro.
Go on. You are watching these documentaries.
American celebrities and their lifestyle videos on YouTube.
Right.
And the very successful ones, for example, musicians, actors, business people who've made it very young. Like, when I say young, I mean under the ages of 30. And they've made a good fortune for themselves.
Made it is demonstrated how exactly?
When I say a good fortune for themselves, I mean they are considered millionaires. Yeah, right. So those kinds of couples tend to have very many children within a short period of time because they want to enjoy their life after, like when they're in their late 30s, early 40s. So they prefer to have children between the ages of 25 up to around 30 or even up to 35. So by that age, huyu mtu ameshazaa watoto, kama alikuwa ataka watatu, amefunga hiyo story. So they either go for that sterilization or now they consider other forms of
but this category of individuals,
right,
from what one sees, do they also not remarry?
That is also part of their MO.
Yes, and then also this thing of children. Then the new partner also wants a child, so they have another child.
Chances are by the time you're getting to that age, where you've separated with your partner and then now you probably get another partner, it's either also that partner is coming in with kids, so now you become a blended family, so no need of new children.
Bro.
It's not all the time. I'm just saying the ones that I've watched.
Fairly ancient people in that field who are still having children.
Na ni ukweli sikatai, but nasema wenye mimi nina follow. I'm not saying that they don't exist outside my scope of view. I'm just saying that the ones that I watch.
So you follow the ones who don't have children after 35?
Yes. Majority of them. Some of them now live in blended families whereby you, from your previous marriage, you have probably had 2 children. Now, in this new marriage, your partner has come in with maybe 1 or 2. So you decide, hey, now we have 4 kids combined. Hakuna haja ya kujisumbua. But now let's enjoy life. Majority of them, that's what I see. But coming back to Kenya, please, hii maneno ya sterilization. Please, bwana, we need to populate this earth. Next story, let's see what we're finding on our website. That's rgk.co.ke, in case that slipped your mind. Fate of 27 constituencies hangs as IEBC shelves a review before elections. But I think this one, ilienda delimitation process hiyo na ilienda, because it was supposed to happen sometime last year. We didn't have an IEBC that could have done it. Now they have to wait for another 12 years. Yeah, tukubali tu yaishe. Perhaps
you know one of the things that I've always found interesting is when people push for certain processes to move in a certain direction, ostensibly or presumably to favor them. The question that I wonder if is ever asked, if you are not in the position that you are in now, or no, better still, when you cease to be in the position that you are in now where it favors you, do you consider how this will influence or affect you? Because you will not be in that position forever. It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, true.
Do you know how that will work for you?
I think CT, we have already established that majority of these people that we are alluding to, they don't think beyond the now. Them, it's now. How can I benefit now that I'm here? How can I steal this money now that I'm here? How can I create another constituency for me so that I can have my very close opponent who wants to defeat me in the next election, nimwambie we enda huko. Or if it's a new like for example, there are talks to divide Kitui County so we can have Mwingi County and then Kitui County. So it will be easier.
That won't happen.
I know, but you get what I mean.
I get what you mean.
There are some people who are like, if the cake is divided better, then we can share it better.
Like we've had a conversation for the longest time in Migori County. The Korea saying they want their own county. It won't happen. They're not the only ones. You know, if you look at the sizes of our counties and you look at our poverty levels vis-a-vis our potential wealth levels, there's something Raila has been criticized about when he talks about the numbers of counties and those who feel that he is like pushing back against something that apparently is spearheaded. Well, if you follow the dictates of the creation of the constitution, that proposal was there. Yes.
To have Migori have a Kuria county?
No, to have fewer counties.
Oh, okay.
Say something like 14. There are those who even argued, why don't we just go back to the old provinces?
Yes. I am of that idea, by the way.
I am also of that same idea, because then you have a body that is not difficult, that gives you more potential. Okay? And so all these little units can then work towards becoming as semi-autonomous as they possibly can, but within that larger group. I'm of the same opinion.
But what will happen to things like, you see, like Mandera walisema, after devolution rather, for the very first time, they got 9 billion for that first financial year. And it transformed their county tremendously.
Wajir was transformed.
Yeah.
Believe me, many counties were transformed.
If we go back to 8 provinces, what does that mean for counties like now Mandera? Will they still get their 9 billion?
It'll be more. You need to count what Mandera will get, what Wajir will get, what Marsabit will get, what Moyale will get.
Isiolo.
Yes. That's it. You will get that lump sum. The discussion around the geographical area that constitutes a semi-autonomous body is a worthwhile discussion that we should have as Kenyans. Because therein lies an economy. When we had Ndiritu Mureithi here, he told us that the economy of the mountain region is $28 billion. If you're talking about the figures of 2022, they were $19 billion. That's what could be aggregated. So it is very possible that in 3 years it has increased, whether it is 28 or not. Even if it was just $19 billion, that is a big economy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't represent the entirety of the potential of that region. Now, what about other regions? What could they do? See, the whole thinking about devolution, somewhere along the line, got hijacked, and it now became a question of how much can the governor make off with. So that's where we lost the plot. Not that the county structures don't count.
Right.
If the units that we currently have were actually doing what they want to do, this country would be different, Chief.
True story. So the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has confirmed that it will not carry out a boundary review before the 2027 election, citing strict timelines and legal constraints. The commission warned that proceeding with the exercise would derail the election timetable and urged Parliament to urgently provide legislative guidance to avert a constitutional crisis. So kazi kwenu waheshimiwa. Two Mogadishu City club fans arrested for desecrating Kenyan flag at Nyayo Stadium. Two Mogadishu City Club supporters were caught on video desecrating the Kenya national flag during last week's CAF Champions League clash at Nyayo Stadium have been arrested. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations confirmed that 17-year-old Ibrahim Haidar Yusuf and 14-year-old Muhyiddin Ahmed Abukar have been processed pending further police action. This, I was actually even telling you when we were walking in the studio, hii kitu naona tu itafika tu mahali ishe. Personally, because I think number one, these are minors. Then number two, the ambassador of Somalia to Kenya, Jibril, did actually apologize and said that it doesn't reflect the relationship between Kenya and Somalia. And I agree with him because we actually did host him here. He was amongst our first guests on Radio Generation. Very cool guy, very respectful, and also himself, he's one of those folks you can actually tell he's very charismatic and diplomatic. And when I watched his apology, I actually did agree with what he said. So I'm assuming these minors will probably get to court, of course, and if they're remorseful enough, serikali itawaachilia tu with a proper warning. However, I have an issue with some videos I'm actually seeing online. Like there's one I've just watched this morning again. Let me start with one I watched yesterday. It's a backdated video showing this particular person who is of Somali origin saying, and speaking very nice Swahili, so I'm assuming he's either Kenyan Somali or he has lived here long enough to know Kiswahili vizuri. Na alikuwa anasema wataenda huko kwa Nyayo Stadium now for that weekend we are talking about. Wataenda huko, they'll even ban the Kenyan flag, and he said there's nothing Kenyans will do. And I found that a bit provocative. Like, why would you even start that conversation? At what point did you feel necessary? It was necessary to have that conversation.
Did you read the conversations that we were having when this competition that we got to the quarterfinals? What was it again?
Chan, yes.
Did you read the comments that were there? For instance, we played DRC, did we not?
Yes, we did.
Okay, did you read the comments that were made?
Not, I didn't.
Some of them were quite hilarious. Comments about Kenyans, please, when we defeat you, please, no mandamano.
But that's a funny one.
There's a point I'm trying to make here.
Okay.
If you look at the humor that people have, some of the things that seem adverse, maybe someone's attempt at humor. I'm not excusing what they said. Hawa, tutawanyorosha. Look, it's a football game.
Kutunyorosha kwa mpira pale kwa uwanja, I'm all for that. Because even me, tukicheza Liverpool versus Chelsea, naambianga watu wa Chelsea leo mtalilia kwa choo. And that's part of the game. That is what makes it exciting.
Right. And
yes.
What now? is it about the comment that you're talking about that doesn't make it part of the game?
Banning the Kenyan flag, that one now, we have moved from being competitive. We are bordering, actually no, we're not even bordering. We have now become rivals, and not just any kind of rivalry. This is, it's like declaring war. Why are you banning our flag? Why don't you say Kenya tutakuja hapa tutawatandika mwende mkakule mtura? That one will be like, oh, because we actually are Kenyans and we love mtura. Na sisi tuambie tutawatandika kama Somalia na tutachukua hizo ngamia zenu, because ngamias are synonymous with the people of Somalia.
Okay. Were there other people who commented on that same football and who did not represent the views similar to the ones that you're speaking of?
To be honest, I didn't see much of the comments that were there. The reason I actually saw this particular video is because it actually went viral. If it hadn't gone viral, chances are I wouldn't have met it anywhere. Then there's one I've actually watched this morning of another person who looks like he comes from that community, sharpening a panga on what looks like a road, on a pavement, and said, "Sasa wa Kenya, tutawafukuza mwende Uganda. We have been apologizing over that incident of kicking the flag." And I was like, so now una sharpen panga for what purpose? Telling us this thing that you're telling us. To be honest, I think some of these things, and they are very young individuals who are doing this.
Yes.
It's not like it's a city Muga kind of situation.
No, they are young and foolish.
My point exactly.
Young and foolish. You must understand certain things within context.
That's why I'm saying,
this is a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old.
watafika kotini, if they're remorseful enough, I have a feeling that the courts will be lenient on them.
But let me just say this though. Some of these sentiments, when you hear young people expressing them, I have a sneaky feeling that they have heard some people who are older parents expressing sentiments that are anti a certain country.
Yes.
And they've picked it up. It's not as though they've gone and just picked it up on their own.
Oh yeah, sure. Hata ukiona mtoto akikwambia si tuwe unakuanga na nywele za wewe tumezeeka, ni kitu umesikia mtu akisema.
Hiyo kitambi yako utamaliza chakula yetu.
Ni jua amesikia mtu akisema, na sana sana ni mzazi wake.
So
yeah, I mean it's normal, but I don't think it should be encouraged.
No, actually it should be actively discouraged.
Yes,
because it starts off in the manner that we are saying it. Somebody takes offense,
yes,
and then retaliate.
Yes.
Now you're already escalating a situation that should have just been, you should have ground it to a halt the moment it was noticed.
Nipped it in the bud.
Kabisa.
Yeah. So I just do. I have that feeling, like I've said. Niko sure watafika pale kotini, watajitetea, and then of course the courts might take into consideration the fact that His Excellency Jibril did actually is it Jabril, I think it is, he actually did apologize. Yeah, and we move on. And if indeed they are Somali nationals, that might actually also play in their favor, because again their diplomat might actually just come to their rescue.
So
Chatuna venye story itakuwa. Tuangalie traffic updates. Tuangalie ni barabara gani zinasonga, ni gani hazisongi.
This is Radio Generation.
Nairobi, are you ready? September 27th, the Shawarma Festival 2025 takes over 2 Rivers Mall. Juicy beef, spicy chicken, bold veggie creations. Your ticket gives you 3 shawarmas plus a full day of music, games, competitions, and safe spaces for healing. This is where flavor meets freedom. Don't miss it.
Get your tickets at madfun.com. Radio Generation 88.8 Nairobi. Traffic.
All right, so this is the situation on the roads at 6:33 a.m. Kama kawaida, I am telling you for a fact, the same spot has the same traffic. Actually, let me just refresh it and see if something will change. Yeah, nothing has changed. So Ngong Road, Palivo, Woodley Estate, as you're coming from Ring Road, Kilimani, joining Ngong Road and the Pale Mugo Kibiru Road. Things are looking good for you this particular hour. Joseph Kangeda Road, I'm seeing that is very clear. Ngong Road, traffic Palivo roundabout ya acha niseme vizuri. Oh yes, roundabout tunaitanga Valley Road. Up as you're approaching Valley Road coming from Daystar University, that place looking, there's a bit of yellow and there's a bit of red. So that means the traffic lights are currently working. You guys are waiting for them to open so they can move. Yeah, so please respect them before the cops get there and then they just create a mess. Yeah. Ngong Road, Mombasa Road looking good. Langata Road looking good. Lusaka Road looking good. Let me go and see how Outer Ring Road is at the moment. Jogoo Road hamna shida yoyote. No wait, mko na shida pale Makadara, but that's normal. We expect that. Outer Ring Road pale Doni, that very many intersections, there's a little bit of red there, and I'm assuming that's because everyone is trying to come from and go to every other direction on that road. But yeah, you guys are moving nonetheless. Very little delays pale Mama Lucy Hospital, nona si Mama Lucy, pale vo hapa ni wapi sasa, Kangundo Road, as you're approaching Ring Road, not Ring Road, Outer Ring Road, kuna ka traffic kiasi, but you guys are moving nonetheless. If you're stuck in traffic, I am so sorry, but don't worry. City Muga and I have got some great vibes to keep you moving.
Traffic on Radio Generation.
So as we get into the newspaper review, I need to give a few shout-outs here as we move forward. There's Festi Royals. Anasema, morning good people, hiyo Radio Generation theme song artist ni nani? Oh my goodness. You guys are overthinking life, eh? Akasema watu si wajinga bwana. Festi, ni ukweli watu si wajinga bwana. Hello RG folks, looking forward to a dynamite conversation. Oh yes indeed, Sonnet, you have no idea. Then there is Luis Ruda Singwa. Thanks again for the show. Well Luis, no, thank you for tuning in. So keep on sending your shoutouts. We'll definitely read them as we continue. But right now though, let's check out what's happening in the newspapers and see if there's anything that has changed around the world in the last couple of hours. So, on the Daily Nation front page, whistleblower on Shah fraud loses job. Okay, I'm not laughing at him, I'm just laughing at the situation. That story is on page 4 and 5. Andrew Rotich, the auditor who unearthed an alleged medical billing racket that prompted the closure of 1,300 drug hospitals, has lost his job. Shall be checking that out shortly. Here's a gift for you and Kenya-France relationship. We can see the president of Kenya and the president of France, Mr. Macron, exchanging some gifts there. Why ABC won't create new electoral units ahead of 2027 polls. Hiyo tumeshaguzia. Puzzle of woman's body delivered in parcel. This one we actually told you yesterday. In case you missed that story, you can go back to our YouTube channel and check yesterday's morning review. You'll definitely find it there. Schools unrest, cash crisis, heart exam preparations. Story is on page 10. Looking at the Standard newspaper on the front page. Big trouble in Kenya's top hospitals. Stories on page 4 and 5. Why majority of Kenyans feel country is headed in the wrong direction. This is according to an InfoTrack survey released on September 25th. That is yesterday. Fresh dispute between police chiefs. Oversight agency throws police hiring into disarray. Check out page 2. And then in politics, now or never declares Kalonzo as opposition braces for storm. What's on your paper?
Well, let me start with the Business Daily, my man. Right, auction of 10 oil blocks, delay on legal hitch. Kenya's plan to auction oil and gas blocks to prospecting firms through competitive bidding for the first time will delay amid an ongoing process to draft regulations that will guide the sale. So you're planning to sell and you didn't have regulations?
See, now they are starting the process. It has to start from somewhere, City.
Trademark wars rattles software sanitary pads marketing. Okay. Software Kenya company has sued KOT Group and Halalelium and Sons UR Home, accusing them of unlawfully copying the designs of packaging and soft care sanitary pad. Soft care is a sanitary pad.
Yes. They also make diapers.
Good for them. There are people who now seem to have had a disagreement and somebody copied their design.
Yeah.
Right. Courts are going to be busy. CBK sets 1 billion minimum capital for credit guarantee firms. Credit guarantee companies operating in Kenya will need to raise a minimum capital of 1 billion shillings and maintain capital adequacy ratios similar to those of banks. New draft regulations show. Right. Bang in the middle of the paper.
Right.
How big borrowers pressure SACCOs for unsecured loan. Let me repeat this. How big borrowers pressure SACCOs for unsecured loans. Oparanya, Sasra, flag irregular lending to prominent figures. SACCO loans surpass deposits by a record 100.7 billion. Let me repeat this.
Yes.
SACCO loans surpass deposits by a record 100 billion.
100 billion.
That, you see, the deposits are supposed to be security. So I assume at best they should be on par with what is lent. But if you borrowed in excess of the deposits by 100 billion, sio ni shida.
Mingi sana.
Right.
Actually, we shall be hosting Sasra CEO very soon. Their new CEO. They have a brand new CEO, a few days old. Yesterday, they released that report. It's called the SACCO Supervisory Report 2024, I think it is. They released, and they want to discuss it further. Their head of communication is actually a former classmate of mine, and he reached out and he was like, "Movie, can we come to the people's breakfast?" And I told them, "Munangoja nini? Wanakuja."
Right. In the Standard, there are no small stories. It's a complete bang in the middle of the paper. That is the entirety of the headline.
Of the page.
A disturbed nation. The Anglican Church has torn into the Kenya Kwanza administration, accusing it of hiding behind statistics while wananchi remain trapped in economic despair. Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit warned that the government's handout-style empowerment schemes are fueling frustrations instead of easing joblessness and the high cost of living. A new InfoTrack survey backs the church's position, with 57% of Kenyans saying the country is on the wrong path, citing overtaxation, corruption, poor healthcare, and youth unemployment as proof that official claims of stability ring hollow. Issues raised by the church. Bullet points. Unemployment and youth despair. Tick. Constitutionalism and governance. Tick. Economic outlook and corruption. Tick. Human life and dignity. Tick. Health sector challenges. Tick. Education crisis. Double tick. Church governance and policies. I have no idea what that is. Peace and political stability. That I understand. Pollster findings. 57% of the citizens who believe country is headed in the wrong direction. Actually, we need to be able to unstructure it further to ask, when we say wrong direction, what do you mean? Causes of high cost of living, taxes, 40%. These are the statistics of those who said. This is their thinking.
Right.
Cost of living, shit and tax.
Yeah.
All right. Global factors, 19%. Global factors what? So if it's raining in another country, it affects me how exactly?
If it's raining in another country.
How is it affecting me? All right.
No, but have you considered what it means if it doesn't rain in that country?
Another country, not Kenya.
You see, some of the things that we import are also raw materials or even finished products. We get a lot of cooking oil, for example, from
Malaysia.
Yeah. So if in Malaysia they don't have enough rain, they don't have enough palm trees, so there's no palm wine, so there's no cooking oil.
If we work a break on the conspiracy, they do have palm trees. They do have enough palm trees. That's the reason why they export it. You find another example.
Ndio ninakwambia, yani in case kukose kunyesha. Bro,
give a better in case example. Something that can actually happen.
Sasa city. Hiyo ilikuwa too top of my mind. Given time I can actually come up with.
Why don't you top up your mind further?
If I sawa basi. Shasema. I will top it further. Then I'll give you that example.
Wonderful man.
Thank you.
Good man.
Santi sana.
Good man.
All right.
Right. Pessimism drivers. High cost of living, 66%. Unemployment, 30%. Poor governance, 15%. Shaft, not working, 15%. Corruption, 14%. Now let me read a quotation that is attributed to the ACK Archbishop. ACK. The level of unemployment among our young people is worrying and creating a sense of despair. No, it's not creating a sense of despair. It's entrenching a sense of despair. The persisting culture of extravagance at both national and county government levels remains worrying. No, it is not worrying. It's not even concerning. It is wrong.
Absolutely wrong.
with a capital R. Wrong.
Capital W?
R.
Okay.
Sini wrong.
Kwa nini wrong rende? Anything else?
Unajua hii standard headlines zao zinakuwa tu na story moja tu.
Okay. Then wana delve huko ndani.
You
deeper.
can summarize it this way. Kick the government in the teeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is basically what their headlines have been in the last
couple of months.
But
there's nothing they've said here which actually does not represent the truth.
Yeah, true. I mean, I that's what I'm saying. Like you've put it, kick the government in the
teeth.
In the teeth.
Yes, and if there's some other part of the anatomy that you find exposed and ready to be kicked, by all means kick it.
Right.
Yes.
Twende kazi.
Yes. The bishops have at last decided to speak. Thank you.
But they have been speaking for a while.
Nope. They've been whispering.
They have been talking.
They have been whispering.
We hosted a bishop here just the other day. NCCK.
Actually, we did. Those are the sum. If you do the maths, sum total 2.
But bro, if he's the chairman of NCCK, he's chairman of very many people. So he's speaking on their behalf.
Yeah, he came on radio.
Yeah.
Have we heard him making public statements like this?
Radio ni private.
It is private because
it's privately owned, but it is a public mouthpiece.
There's a point I'm getting at here, and I'm being facetious about it.
Let's hear it.
The church should speak as much as the politicians do. They have a mandate. Isaiah 58.
Yeah.
These are people who should speak out for the oppressed and for those who feel that they're downtrodden and for those who feel their interests have been taken care of.
Isaiah what?
58.
Just that. There's no verse 1 or verse 2.
No, that whole Isaiah 58.
Isaiah 58.
It's a whole story. Ukisoma yote, the bits that I'm saying are excerpts from Isaiah 58.
Oh.
Yes.
So not a specific one.
No, just the whole of Isaiah ukisoma. You have to contextualize it.
Yes.
This thing of just reading one line in the middle of a chapter of a book, that's not it.
Because it talks about true fasting. That is Isaiah 58. Shout it loud, do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet. Declare to my people their rebellion, and to the descendants of Jacob their sins. For the day after day they seek me out. They seem eager to know my ways. Okay, I'm looking.
No. Just keep reading. Don't give up. Just go on and.
As if they were a nation that does what is right and has not forsaken the commands of its God. They ask me for just decisions and seem eager for God to come near them. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen it? Why have we humbled ourselves and you have not noticed? Yet on the day of your fasting, you do as you please and exploit all your workers.
Continue.
Okay, it's very long, City.
That's why I said 58.
Okay, Yote.
There is a part where it is now the true fast that the Lord requires.
The true what?
Fast.
That the Lord... If you do away with your yoke of oppression with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness and your night will become like the noonday. Yes.
Umesikia your story? Yes.
Okay. All right.
When somebody can't find food, they're oppressed, Chief. When they're educated in the field, they would like to do something meaningful and gainful, and they can't. They're even more oppressed. Okay? So when you move that yoke of oppression,
yes,
okay?
With the pointing finger and malicious talk.
Yes, sasa nyinyi mnajua mwache kupiga kelele, that one, wachana hiyo kitu. Then, it's not me saying,
it's the Bible. It's the word of God.
I pointed Isaiah 58.
Okay.
The fast which the Lord desires. Si unakaa njaa mazee unaonekana kama hujakula for the last 50 days.
Shakahola.
Hapana, wachana hiyo. The fast is you do right.
Okay.
You look after the interest of the oppressed. You look after the interest of widows. You look after the interest of people who need your help.
But the church has been vocal.
Not enough.
So the point is, it's just not loud enough.
It's not enough. The church should be louder than everybody else.
Okay. Let me check out the Daily Nation again. Hapa huyu jamaa anaitwa Andrew Rotich. Andrew Rotich, the auditor who unearthed an alleged medical billing racket that prompted the closure of 1,300 drug hospitals, has lost his job at the Social Health Authority. Appointed the Deputy Director, Forensic Audit and Risk Assurance in April this year, he is not among shortlisted candidates for fresh interviews for the post. That story is on page 4 and 5. Yeah?
You have to wonder why he was let go of, isn't it? I'm sure there'll be a story that'll be spun around.
It's on 4 and 5. Can I just read like a small one?
I'd like you to read like a big one.
Rotich is among 3 deputy directors in the audit department left out of a shortlist for interviews after a court ordered a repeat of the hiring process. Andrew Kipkirui Rotich, the
But I
auditor,
thought he already had a job. Why are they hiring again?
and he was hired in April.
Yeah, so he had a job. So
See, this is after a court ordered a repeat of the hiring process.
which hired him?
Exactly. So Andrew Kipkirui Rotich, the auditor who unearthed an alleged medical billing racket in Kenya's public health systems, has lost his job at the Social Health Authority. Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale fashioned the billing racket to police as an explosive dossier, and which led to the closure of 1,300 drug facilities. Mr. Rotich and 2 others, Deputy Directors Ruben Mutweri, who's the county coordinator, and Halima Gurai Sane, provider management, have not been shortlisted for interviews following a court ordered repeat of the recruitment exercise that saw them hired in April. So I'm assuming if they're going to repeat the hiring process, to be honest, hakuna haja to shortlist juu sasa situ.
But according to that article, he and 2 others have been left out of the shortlist.
Oh yes. So Mr. Rotich is the Deputy Director Forensic Audit and Risk Assurance. Now the 3 who were on April 17 appointed alongside CEO Matthew Mwangangi are not among candidates shortlisted for interviews set to be conducted on October 1st. It is still unclear why the trio who applied for the jobs did not make the shortlist, despite having emerged as the best candidates in the first round of interviews preceding their appointments in April. So why would the court first of all reorder these appointments? I'm sure that story is probably somewhere in here if you read the whole story. I'm hoping it is.
You know something?
Yeah.
Even if there is a very sound reason for whatever the courts have determined, the moment it is mentioned that this is a man who unearthed 1,000 plus rogue hospitals doing crazy things, you cannot ask, is he being targeted because he did something some people did not want? Or did he kill a cash cow?
Number one, he obviously killed a cash cow. That's a fact. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Because someone was benefiting from this, or people were benefiting from this 1,300.
It's never one person.
Yeah, people were benefiting from this 1,300 rogue hospitals.
Yes.
And those irregular payments that were made to those hospitals. So, who that person is, perhaps...
No, who are these people?
Who these people are of interest, because they are powerful enough to ensure that someone is not rehired, or at least they are powerful enough, whether by default or by the fact that they did this heinous act, to ensure that there is a rehiring process.
From the time of the Uhuru government into this William Ruto government, one of the complaints within certain circles within the political elite has been that the chink in the armor of the justice process are our courts. It's a back and forth discussion and argument, but every once in a while when you hear of such a thing, you ask, is it that due process wasn't followed when these people were hired in the first place? And why was there not enough noise then? And why are they rehiring now? But against this backdrop now, even more questions are raised. So you want to ask a High Court judge, okay, who was this judge? More and more and more questions arise. And credence then gets lent to this assertion that there is a problem in the judiciary. And that the judiciary is part of these gangs of individuals within the country who not only subvert the law, but are determined to line their pockets in any which way that is possible. Yes.
And you know, these are some of the things that actually discourage future whistleblowers, because if I whistleblow the situation and it might cost me my job or a transfer, then it's safer for me to shut up.
The history of whistleblowers in this country is that you whistleblow, you suffer.
Yeah. However, CT, I can't remember where I read this or I learned this. I don't remember if it was in a class somewhere, that whistleblowers are never treated kindly all over the world. It's not just here in Kenya. All over the world. You whistleblow, something happens to you. Because even your colleagues now start looking at you weird, CT.
It tells you that your colleagues are weird.
Yes. Of course, not all of them. There are those who are morally upright.
They are weird. They are weird because, my friend, it also speaks of how we have embraced wrongdoing, and we have taken it upon ourselves to punish anybody who dares point to the wrongdoing that we perpetrate on a daily basis, and we punish you resoundingly.
So CT nikiuza CT niseme CT amekuwa akikula pesa ya kampuni. People start looking at me like Mbuvi ni mtiaji.
Yes.
Mbuvi ni mtiaji. And especially people who are also benefiting from CT's thievery.
Even those who don't benefit, it's like there's an anticipation that you might benefit. And so this whistleblower is messing up the whole caboodle, man.
Maze, sasa CT ameenda guy. Taka tunakulaje bana. CT mwenye alikuwa anatujenga poa yani.
Yes.
Sasa huyu Mbuvi, na nilijuanga tusiendange na Mbuvi Fridays out.
Yes.
Sasa kimeenda kimefungua mdomo huko.
Now that, my friend, is the problem.
And people now start avoiding you. Even in the office, people don't want
Yes.
they don't even want to have a conversation with you because they're afraid they might reveal something that...
And these same people, these very same people, are the people who talk about, well, you know, there's corruption here and there's corruption there. We cannot stand this corruption. You know how it is, you tell me that some information, a clip has gone viral.
Yes.
Corruption went viral in this country a long time ago, man. This genie has been put back in the bottle. It's killing us.
Yeah.
Because it's a growth industry.
Yeah, it is actually.
People just wait for the opportunity to be corrupt.
Actually, everyone, we say that we're all corrupt. It's just that the opportunity hasn't presented itself.
It hasn't, yes. So, again...
So you're there saying, iwe gava inatuibia, ona nani amefanya hivi, CS, unachikio kiatu amevaa. You're in the same position, you'll probably even wear something twice as expensive as him.
Easily. And justified and said, you know, some of these things, when in a position that, I mean, yeah, come on, man, you know.
Unajua manze, mimi ni CS, alafu nenda commit, manze, CS wa China, nenda kani nimevaa mtumba kweli. Unataka nivae mtumba. Itabidi manze pia mimi nimevaa kama hao bana, ndio tukiketi kwa ile meza, tuelewane on one level. No, seriously, there's a time I had a conversation off the record with one of these folks, government folks, and he had this very expensive stuff on, and I asked him, hey bro, bana, this is quite the, you know, the accessory you have. And he was like, yeah, you know, there's no way I'll go to say a meeting in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm going to meet a director there or another government minister wearing my Githurai suit. I'll have to wear that Giorgio Armani, you know, that Italian suit, so that nikiketi pale asinidharau.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, atakudharau either way. Whether inategemea character yake inakaje.
First of all, he will observe that your kiatu inakufinya.
Yeah.
He knows.
For a fact. You know the dignitaries we've been hosting here, especially the foreign ones, I am amazed at their humility.
Their simplicity.
And their simplicity and their minimalistic lifestyle. Did you see the car that the Japanese ambassador drove in? It was a simple Toyota. It wasn't a fuel guzzler. It wasn't, you know, like a V8 machine. You know, it was just a simple, I think it was a Toyota Mark X or something.
If I were to tell you that the VXs are actually manufactured for export. Yeah.
And he being the Japanese ambassador, he could easily walk to Toyota Kenya.
Oh no, they'll furnish him with the latest.
Wampatia taya bure, umwambie ni aje mheshimiwa shika hii. But the guy drove in and he was alone, him and his PA, not even bodyguard, personal assistant. And then of course his driver. And that was his entourage.
That's it.
Hey.
Kenya.
Siko baya. You've seen the people that come here. I think hapa tunapikanga about 5 to 6 liters of milk whenever they are around. And it's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, Africans, we like entourages, but I'm just comparing our people and the foreigners. Remember the honorary consul? Alikuja Mansolo.
Alikuja na Uber.
Alikuja na taxi.
Yes.
No entourage, no security, no nothing. We had Honorable Jabril of this country called Somalia. He was literally him and his PA.
And driver.
Nothing much. Na walibaki kwa gari. They didn't even come upstairs with the mheshimiwa. He came by himself, sat here, he drank coffee, he drank our water, and he was very okay with it. Simple, minimalistic, and we did a 2-hour conversation. The guy left. Mimi ninaonanga wale watu, a simple MP anakuja hapo unaangalia hiyo suti. Unasema all right. Anyway, to each their own. I just hope that we have a long way to go, bro.
Bro, wacha nikwambie.
We have a long way to go.
Whistleblowing, we have a long history of
yeah.
whistleblowers. There was a guy called Selasio Thoranira.
Okay.
He whistleblew on the NHIF fraud where the hospitals were swindling elderly patients.
Yes.
There's a guy called Spencer Sankale, the Masai Mara University. That man was hounded. Huh? There's a guy called John Githongo.
Yes, I know. I remember John Githongo.
Yes.
Siende alikuwa jamaa wa Anglo Leasing.
Yes, ndio huyo.
Ali whistleblow on the Anglo Leasing scandal.
Yes. Yeah. There was a guy called...
he literally had to flee this country.
Literally.
He whistleblew abroad.
Goldenberg, there's a guy called Francis Lugorito. Central Bank at that time. His son was in charge of foreign exchange na nini. Majua brother alifutwa kazi.
Alimaliza cash kwa ya mtu.
Aliumia.
Na tunajua ilikuwa cash kwa nani to be specific.
Aliumia. Then the recent one was a $2 billion deal with Adani, the guy called Nelson Amenya.
Currently exiled in the States.
There's something that you need to bear in mind.
Yes.
That we see the outcome of whistleblowing and people still whistleblow tells you there are Kenyans who are willing to do the right thing.
And I actually do hope we continue doing the right thing. Folks, here's the news with Winnie Maganga.
Radio generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Turkana MPs have raised concern over rising insecurity in Aro sub-county, blaming bandits from neighboring county for spate of attacks. Led by Turkana South MP John Ariko, the lawmaker said at least 7 incidents have been reported in September alone, despite the presence of multi-agency security team in the region. The outcry follows a fresh attack on Wednesday, September 24th, in Kainuk, where an officer of the National Police Reservists and a young adult were killed by bandits from neighboring Pokot community.
Just yesterday, that was on September 24th, tragedy struck again Kainuk, where an NPR officer, Elipan Pachu, and a young adult, Isaac Ilikwel, were killed by Pokot's bandits. Their deaths are a painful reminder of the cause of inaction. Shockingly, in response to these raids, the multi-agency team has turned on our people. Operations led by KDF have brutalized innocent victims, inflicting bruises and internal injuries, and wrongfully arrested a Kahong NPR seeking ammunition replenishment after the September 3rd raid.
2 Mogadishu City Club supporters who were caught on video desecrating the Kenya national flag during last weekend's CAF Champions League clash at Nyayo Stadium have been arrested. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations confirmed that 17-year-old Ibrahim Haidar Yusuf and 14-year-old Muhyiddin Hamed Abubakar have been processed pending further police action. The two were filmed on September 20th, 2025, mishandling and mocking the Kenyan flag during the match between Kenya Police FC and Mogadishu City FC, which ended 3-1 in favor of the hosts. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has called on leaders and residents of northern Kenya to uphold peace and unity as a form for development. Speaking in Irunduni, Tharaka Nithi County on Thursday, where he met more than 1,500 grassroots and opinion leaders from Isiolo County, Kindiki urged communities to embrace cohesion and coexistence to fully benefit from the government's development programs.
Wakati viongozi wanaleta kisirani na vita na uchochezi, wananchi wataumia. Kwa sababu mambo ya maendeleo itabaki nyuma, ikiwa ni mambo ya siasa, mambo ya vita, mambo ya mvutano. Hatutaki kabisa kaunti yetu ya Isiolo ama kaunti nyingine yoyote ile katika Jamhuri ya Kenya iwe na vita na iwe na mvutano, kwa sababu maendeleo yetu itarudi nyuma.
The Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission has warned that inadequate funding will compromise preparation for the 2027 general election. This is after the Treasury slashed its initial budget request. Appearing before the National Assembly's Constitution Implementation Oversight Committee on Thursday, IBC Chief Executive Officer Marjan Hussein Marjan revealed that the commission had projected 61.7 billion Kenya shillings for the polls, but the allocation was cut to 57.3 billion Kenya shillings.
The requirements column, we have got 61.7 billion. That is what we requested for the purpose of by-elections. Then, because of GDP decline, every MD was actually requested to reduce the budget by 4.5%. So also we suffered that, and our budget was reduced from 61.7 to 57.3.
US President Donald Trump has said he will not allow Benjamin Netanyahu to annex the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Speaking ahead of the Israeli Prime Minister's address to the UN General Assembly on Friday, the US President told reporters in Oval Office it's not going to happen. Trump, who will meet Netanyahu on Monday, also said a Gaza deal was pretty close. Israel is facing increasing global pressure to end the war in Gaza and occupation of the West Bank as a wave of Western states formally recognize an independent Palestinian state.
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen. Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay?
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
Good morning and welcome back. This is Radio Generation. It is now 7:07 in the AM. A big shout out to every single one of you that is tuned in this particular morning. We shall be checking out your shout outs and comments later on. And by the way, you can also join in on our conversation this morning. It is debunking dementia at Radio Gen KE across all our socials, Sana Pale X, and on YouTube it is Radio Generation Kenya. Why don't you get onto that live chat and let's get this conversation going. Siti Muga is here with me in studio, but also joining us this particular hour is Elizabeth Mutunga, founder and CEO, Alzheimer's and Dementia Organization Kenya, that is ADOC. Good morning, Daktari.
Good morning.
Let's talk about ADOC.
Okay.
Yeah, what is ADOC all about?
ADOC is about helping caregivers understand what dementia is. What we do mainly is when people get a diagnosis, they do not know where to go. And so they wonder, what do you do? Because once you're told that it is a disease, that there is no cure, and now you have to manage it, they wonder what next. So they reach out to us. So we train them on communication, how you will talk to the person living with dementia, putting systems in place to help the person living with dementia, and above all, help them meet other caregivers so that they know they are not alone on this journey.
I actually lost a neighbor to he had dementia. Though I'm not sure if dementia is fatal. Is it fatal?
You don't die from dementia. You die from other opportunistic diseases like pneumonia, or maybe a bed sore, or any other, or even diabetes when the sugars go very low or very high. So, but it will contribute because the brain, in layman's language, is dying. So the other systems in the body are also not working as they should, and so it will fasten, or for lack of a better word, it will catalyze other opportunistic diseases.
Let's define now dementia itself.
Yes.
What exactly is dementia?
So dementia is an umbrella term that explains changes in personality, in behavior, and even daily life. The things that you would do, like bathing, like brushing your teeth, things that even breathing, we don't even think about, do we?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
So
But you
I
know,
can actually
actually
forget
somebody,
to breathe?
yes, actually they die because they forget to breathe.
Ngoja kidogo. I thought breathing is a reflex action.
Exactly, but
Like,
what
and that is-
controls?
And that is why when you're asleep, you breathe because you're, for lack of a better word, unconscious or semi-conscious. I don't know. But the point is, you're asleep, you breathe.
Yes.
Babies are born just breathing.
Exactly. But
How-
what controls the breathing?
The brain.
Exactly. So if the brain is dying,
It forgets to breathe.
exactly, because everything is dying. If they used to feed themselves, if they stop feeding themselves, they they forget. It will never come back. If they used to walk, then you put them on a wheelchair. That is it. They'll never walk again.
Let me ask you. I get the concept of the brain dying, but what happens if I forget to breathe? You remind me to breathe, like, hey, movie, breathe, start breathing.
Sometimes we have to remind them or now put them on oxygen. But towards the end now, it doesn't work anymore. Like Dad was on oxygen for a long time before he passed on.
Are we
My
talking about-
father,
okay,
my
okay.
father had dementia. That's
Pole
why I
sana.
do what I do.
Yeah.
But it will reach a point where even that oxygen now will not work on them anymore
Yeah.
because the brain is shutting down completely.
Right. Let's now walk through this process.
Yes.
Of what it is that happens,
Mm.
because it doesn't shut down in a day.
Mm-mm.
There's a process, there's a beginning,
Mm.
and then that beginning is now, when manifested, is when we now know that this is dementia we're speaking of,
Exactly.
and what it is that leads to the progression, and then we'll talk about what can be done to slow it down, and if there are cures for it, if there are any, please.
Okay. So we started by explaining dementia, which is a general term or the umbrella term. So there are many other diseases, like there's Alzheimer's disease, which is the most common, and then there's Lewy body, frontotemporal. There are many types. Dementia because of HIV, dementia because of drinking. People who drink a lot end up getting dementia. Also
How does HIV feature?
because of taking medication for too long. You see, when you take medication also for too long, it also affects your system. Even there's people who've had cancer before who are also now going through dementia.
Yeah.
So people who have had long diseases that have run for a long time end up actually having dementia.
Is it because of the progression, for instance, of the disease?
Yes.
Because, for instance, if you look at HIV and what it did, HIV battles your immune system. That's what it does.
Exactly.
It does a number on them. So your immune system can't do what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
So if the disease then is advanced, then it gets to a point where it also starts affecting the way.
Brain. Yes.
Okay.
How the brain operates.
So, and alcohol.
Yes.
This one I'm asking on behalf of our friend, yes.
And as you answer this on behalf of his friend,
Yes.
do we know the specific cause of dementia?
No, we don't. We actually do not know the specific cause of dementia.
Yeah.
And that is why we have risk factors.
Okay.
And so, like he said, we start from the beginning. So, on behalf of a friend, see me behind the tent. But what happens? So the person starts having memory losses. Their short-term memory is affected. So they start talking about things that they used to do earlier on, like in their 20s. Because what happens? The brain goes back to your late teens, early 20s. So, like, for example, my dad would wake up in the middle of the night and ask my mother, "What are you doing in the bedroom?"
Yeah.
And my mother said, I'm your wife. He's like, no, I don't have a wife. I never got married. And this time my dad is in his 80s. He has forgotten.
So his brain has now gone back to when he was 20.
Yes.
So he has no recollection of...
Completely. He doesn't even remember. So he's telling my mom, no, I'm waiting to get married. Get out of my room. So many times my mom was sent out of the room. Then now it would come to the children. And then when he asks us, how are your parents? And you're like, you're my dad. He's like, no. Like I remember on my wedding day, he was supposed to walk me down the aisle. He said, I'm not your father. Go and look for your father. So the memory is affected. So they start thinking of things that happened before. Then as they continue, that is in the early stages. They usually would hide it, and you wouldn't know because before you actually show the symptoms of dementia, you've been living with the disease for 10 years before it actually shows and manifests. And now when I look at my dad especially, I see when he was retrenched, that is now when the disease set in. Because he couldn't
is it possible that the retrenchment triggered it?
Yes.
Okay.
So the answers, and remember you asked me what are the causes of dementia. We do not know, but we have realized from what we have been hearing from other caregivers that when there's a stress factor, there was manifestations of dementia. For example, loss of a loved one, loss of money, loss of a job, any loss actually contributed to that. So then we will start seeing in the middle stages, now they can't do many things for themselves. This is when they put a sufuria. If it's a mom cooking, she forgets that it is on the jiko, goes and sits down. Sometimes we've had inaungua ama pengine vitu zinachomeka in the process. So it can be quite fatal. And then towards the end is now when they are on oxygen, they are in bed, they can't do anything for themselves. You'll have to get a physiotherapist to keep working on their limbs, but at that point they can't even do anything for themselves.
My grandfather on my mom's side, there's one time I was very young, I was probably below 10 years. We sat with him and had a conversation. Then he asked me for a glass of water. Went, got the water. When I brought it to him, he was like, and who are you? Then, and of course, I just, in my head, I was just like, wazee. Started the conversation again. Your grandchild, your daughter, and then, so I explained to him, and he was like, okay. But by the time he passed on, he didn't really have like a serious case of memory loss. So I'm hoping that he didn't have dementia at that point.
Yeah. And one of the things you will notice is that repetition and almost the same sequence of the questions that they had asked you before. They are repeating them again to you. And then one of the other things that's quite, and we tell people to make it as humor. Sometimes they have those lucid moments where they remember everything, like for a few seconds, and then it goes away for... I remember there's one gentleman who was telling us that he was fighting with his dad, and then he walked out and came back, and the father told him, there was this gentleman who was here, and he was really annoying me, and it's the same person. So sometimes that's not getting very worked up about it. Just remember they are unwell, and also... they're not being difficult. They are not just doing things to irritate you. Because for me, I felt like my dad was just being difficult.
Before you understood what was going on.
But it took 17 years because he lived with the disease for 17 years before I understood what it was. So it can be very frustrating for a family member. And then not knowing what to do, where to start.
Is dementia curable?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, can it at the very least be stopped? Like iache kuendelea ifike. So what
if you go early to see the doctors, they will give you medications that will slow down the progression, but the dip will happen. They'll still, because it's a progressive degenerative condition. Once it starts, it does not stop. So you will be put on medications that will stop the progression for a while. It could be 5 years or more, but also depending on how you handle the person. When I say that, for example, if somebody lives up country, don't bring them to Nairobi. Because you're thinking you're helping them and you want them to be near
closer,
you.
Yes.
But when you remove them from the environment they are used to, it also makes them go down faster. The air in Nairobi is not the same up country. So they will notice that because other faculties are not working, like the way the blind use other faculties because they cannot see.
Yes.
It's the same when the brain is not working optimally. That's the same thing. So they use other senses. And so they can tell that how we handle them, how we talk to them, how we treat them also will either make them live longer or the progression doesn't go faster, they don't dip faster. So how we handle them is very important and not moving them from their comfort zones.
Yeah. So what are some of the things then now, apart from what you just mentioned, what are some of the things that we need to know so that we can know that this person might be becoming demented? Is that even a word?
No, demented is different. When you're demented,
Yeah, that's a different situation.
Yeah.
You're
They're losing
haunted.
their cognitive ability.
hiyo sasa ni ingine bro.
So tutajuaje mtu anaanza kupata dementia?
Mtu akianza kuzungumza juu ya vitu ambazo zilifanyika kitambo, that is one of the things that will tell you there's a problem. Misplacing things and they can't find them. We do misplace things, even we who are okay. For
Yeah, 'cause
example,
now you are making me afraid.
yes, and that is why I say
Sometimes my mom will keep something somewhere and tunatafuta hiyo kitu
lakini finally mnaipata.
tunaipata, but at least anakumbukanga aliacha kitu mahali.
That
Is
is very
it something
good.
that began recently?
No, it's been there for ages, ever since I was a child.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Lakini there are times, for example, even wewe mwenyewe, when you go, and for me it is always when I go to the kitchen, I am going to pick something and then I stand and I think, why did I come here?
Oh yeah, no, that's a natural phenomenon.
That's a natural.
Yeah.
But we will still go sit down and remember why you went. Do you know there are people who cannot remember why they were going there in the first
Actually,
place?
yes, very true. You were going to the bedroom probably to pick kichanuo.
Yes.
Then you get into the bedroom and you're like, why am
did
I
I
here?
come
Then
here?
when you go back to the sitting room, you're like, ni kichana nilikuwa naendea.
But
But have you
hiyo ni mzuri.
have you looked for something? It's actually in your hand, but you're looking for it.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Many times.
Yes.
But that isn't dementia.
No,
Yes.
it isn't.
Yeah, because sometimes I could even be holding my car keys.
Yes.
And then
And you're looking for
and then
it.
I get to
Or
the
the
car,
phone.
and then I or even the phone.
And you're speaking and
Yeah,
you're
so-
thinking.
So you want to send money and then you're like, so wacha nikutumie. And then hiyo simu kwani you even change hands. Na hiyo simu.
That's the thing.
But
But
that's
at
not
least
dementia.
you remember that is not dementia.
Okay.
Now, these people who are living with dementia will misplace things and they will not remember where they left them. They'll go to the bank, withdraw money. They don't know the value of money. They'll come giving it out. Like dad would go and withdraw quite a sum of money. But he doesn't know the value. And he doesn't know what to do with the money. But he wanted to go to the bank. I don't know what it is that they have this thing, they have to go to the bank. All the people we've talked to who have had loved ones with dementia. So they go withdraw, but they come giving it out. By the time they get home, there's no money. Or they come and hide it in a very special place where we can't find it. And then we are all accused of being thieves. So those are small things that you start noticing,
Yeah.
forgetting, misplacing things that they cannot remember where they are. And that is now when I think somebody should actually go and see a neurologist and have a test done. Now, there are things that mask themselves like dementia. For example, like a thyroid problem, a vitamin B12 deficiency, or even depression. People in their late stages, I mean, as we grow older, depression sets in because maybe you're of many things.
Yeah.
And so
You're
the
disappointed
doctor
with
has
life.
yes. So the doctor has to rule out all those things before they finally tell you it's dementia. Because, like I said, at the moment there's no cure, so they cannot tell you it's dementia if they are not sure about it. So it will take maybe a brain scan, some blood tests, some questions. They'll make you do a test called MOCA, where you're told that to name some animals which you might not even remember what they are called. Then from that, then they will give you the rating.
Like they show me the picture of an elephant and I'm like,
And you
this
cannot.
is
You're trying to remember it.
I know it starts with a W.
Something like that.
W.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that is when now they tell you now your loved one has dementia. And so now that is now when now family members now reach out to us
Okay.
to tell us what do we do with them. So that is how now we help them come up with a system. So if we tell them in the morning, if they wake up at 7, have activities for them, let them eat at specific times, do things at specific times also to calm them down, because they also get very aggressive at times because they feel frustrated with the condition that they are in. Yes.
And nervous.
And nervous.
Me, what you've shocked me with is that part of forgetting to breathe, and then now you have to be on oxygen.
But that may be a very advanced stage of dementia.
When you're at the point where you cannot breathe on your own, that is the last stage actually.
You know, one of the factors that they say contributes to it is aging. So does it therefore mean that there's a natural attrition in our bodies where your body stops functioning the way it has functioned when you are younger? And that also means that your brain stops functioning the way it used to function before.
That is true, but now we are actually having younger people getting dementia, people in their 40s. So it's no longer actually aging.
One could argue that at 40 you are aging, you're no longer 20.
True, but at 40 that's when we say life is beginning.
Then we look at other factors like lifestyle.
Exactly. So, and that is why younger people are getting dementia now because of our lifestyle. Sedentary, we don't move a lot. We exercise, yes, maybe physically, but do we actually exercise our brains? Do we learn something new? What else do we do to keep our brains active?
Actually, it's interesting you should say that, because when you read the subject, one of the things that you come across, education, as in when you are an avid educator of your mind, what you're doing is building resilience to that process, to thwart that particular process. Because your cognitive ability gets a boost the more you learn, the more you take in knowledge.
Yeah.
So even with the onset of this particular problem, your brain will be better placed to actually resist it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The things you're mentioning right now, like exercising, just being active, even if you're an office person, just after every 1 or 2 hours, amka tembea, fanya story, so that you can exercise both your mind and your body. Is it possible that dementia can also just be spontaneous?
Meaning?
It's not necessarily because you're obese or you're fat or you're plus size, but it's there because maybe it's a genetic predisposition.
Yes, there's that factor of genetics, but also not very confirmed, because the last time we were talking with a neurologist, we were asking, now like us who have been affected, do we start worrying that we shall get dementia?
Someone in the generation.
And then we were told sometimes it skips a generation. Sometimes you see people in the same, like you have an uncle, an auntie.
Then now you know, this is in the family.
It's in the family. So yes, there's a genetic factor. Yeah. There's also the fact that age, like he said, but now also we are getting younger people now getting dementia. Those are the things that are mainly that you could actually pick to say that this is one of the things that you could end up getting dementia.
Okay, let's get back to that lifestyle. Alcohol. How does it affect? How does it play into this whole?
You're asking for a friend, aren't you?
No. I'm actually asking for the benefit of our listeners. and your friend. Yeah.
His friend we need to meet.
Yes. His friend actually is a very avid listener of this show.
That's good.
So, how does?
Hello, friend.
Yeah. Alcoholism in our how does it affect?
You see, when you drink, there are cells that keep dying in the brain.
Every time we take alcohol?
Yes, every time you take alcohol.
Okay.
There are brain cells that die. And so I know we say they could be regenerated.
Yeah.
But constantly taking alcohol. Okay, there are those ones who, not the ones who just drink, they're called what? Social drinkers?
Yes.
But there are those ones now who are extreme. Now that is where the problem is.
Okay.
That is where the problem is, because now they cannot function without alcohol completely. And so
you're saying that this alcoholism that keeps on killing the cells every other Friday, but for someone who actually takes it Monday to Monday,
now that is where the
they
problem
can now trigger
is.
a chain reaction.
Exactly.
Where now cells
the brain now, and then now it just dies. And now you see, now you have dementia, so it doesn't even help you much. So a lot of people, they've said, because they're family members who have actually told us it's because my dad was really
an alcoholic. Like a heavy drinker.
It is actually an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So I hope your friend is not an alcoholic. He's a social drinker.
No, he's not a social drinker. He actually enjoys drinking.
He enjoys drinking.
Yes, and every once in a while, he tells me he had an accident.
Oh my.
He slept. So, yes.
Okay.
And what about other substances such as cigarettes, bangi, cocaine, heroin? You know what people like abusing. Yeah.
Yes. All the things that substance abuse, like we call it, all those contribute. Also, like even diabetes, blood pressure, your cholesterol, all these things they are risk factors. So we say just do things in moderation, or if you don't have to do it, don't do it at all. Yeah, just stay away from it. So all those things actually are contributors.
Yes.
Because they're affecting the brain in one way or the other. Yes.
Now, for someone who's living with an individual who has dementia,
yes,
First of all, does that mean that someone who has dementia, they need to have a caregiver 24/7 with them?
Yes, because as the disease progresses, they're at risk of disappearing. They actually wander away.
Oh yeah, because sometimes I see missing person.
Exactly.
And someone posts their uncle, our uncle, alikuwa akapa George Padmore on Sunday. Then now we don't know where he is.
And we've had even families who've never found their loved ones completely. They walked away and were never found. My dad walked away twice, but thank God he actually got onto a ferry, crossed to the other side.
Was he in Coast?
He was in Coast.
Okay. The
So
Kenyan
for
Coast,
us, yes, for us we made mistakes of moving him from Nairobi to Mombasa. We were thinking maybe it is better in Mombasa, the heat, then we bring him back to Nairobi. So those are mistakes we did and which we advise people not to do. And so he got onto a ferry, crossed over to the other side. Because he had diabetes, collapsed on the beach. Thank God for the beach boys. They took him to this house. You know, the people who are good in the village are known, or in the in estates. So they took him to this good Samaritan, a lady who took care of him. Then she went and reported. But of course, when you'd ask my dad what his name is, he doesn't know his name.
He can't remember it.
Yes, so that is why we need a caregiver who's always watching them so that they don't disappear.
But at least, did he like have his wallet on? So
he didn't have anything.
Nothing
Usually
to identify
they
him.
walk out without anything, even though it's interesting. Even we will put like a tracker, even in families who have people living with dementia. But that is the day they will not wear either that jacket that has a tracker
Or the watch.
or they will not carry it on that day. So
Do
you start
people
looking
ever
for
consider-
Sabidi umeweka tu jina yake kwa mkono
kwa
hivi.
mkono.
na ama most importantly a telephone number.
a telephone number.
But
sasa siku hizi kuna watu pia wanachukua watu kuwachukua for ransom. How sure are you when you put the phone number somebody will not take your dad? And it's risky. It's
one of those situations.
50-50.
So is it better to tattoo the
22.
name here, Paul Mungala Mbuvi? Then now people say we have found a Paul Mungala Mbuvi in Mtwapa.
In Mtwapa.
You are asking
You're
something,
asking.
City.
The person with the dementia, their caregivers, the children, the family members, do they ever consider the frustration this person must be going through?
Initially, I don't think they do.
Because you know they do know they can't remember. It's not that they don't know.
Yeah.
It can be absolutely frustrating.
Yes.
Because you'd like to remember, but you can't.
Yeah. Because even me, I get frustrated when I can't remember something simple. Sometimes we can be having conversations here with City, and I'm like, yesterday we hosted, and we were talking about these cows, and it's really frustrating. So I can imagine someone who has dementia, and they're meeting their wife for the very first time again, over and over. Like
Actually,
in the case of
they don't even think it's their wife. They
No,
don't.
it's yo.
The mind imetoka. Hakumbuki ni bibi.
That one is raised.
But also, let's assume I'm not completely forgotten things about my wife. For example, I forget her birthday, I forget a special day maybe we met, or I forget a project we were supposed to do
That one
together.
is not dementia, chief.
No. I'm not saying right now in my state. I'm just saying that, God forbid I get dementia, then I can't remember my wife's birthday. Those are some of the things that I think zitaniumiza, because
Hata utakumbuka kulikuwa na birthday.
but I remember this is my, and I know this is my wife, but
No.
I just don't remember her birthday, and I'm like, hey, birthday yake ni aki inakuwa.
What you're being told is that even that you want to remember.
Ukumbuki? You don't remember at all? And that is a very good question that you ask about the caregivers. And that is why we train them to remember it's a disease. Because a lot of times we forget and think, actually, for me, I believed my dad was intentionally just being mean and difficult. And for me, we really fought. Because there was a time he woke up on a Tuesday and he wanted to go to church. So I took the calendar thinking I'm helping him. I marked for him. I told him, Dad, today is Tuesday. So we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday until Sunday. This is now where we go to church.
Yeah.
By that time, my son was 2 years. My father he didn't even remember I have a child. But on that day, he looked at me and asked me, do I look like your 2-year-old son? So for me, I would have sat down and started thinking, oh, so you always knew I had a son, but you've never talked about him. And I would get very angry. And
He
I'm like,
was being hypothetical.
he just told me, don't treat me like your 2-year-old son.
I think what we're being told here is there are times you remember.
Exactly. There are those times lucid.
But that memory doesn't last long.
Yes.
You do remember.
Yes.
And what we are being told, if I hear, is that the lucidity decreases with the time.
With time. Yes.
So you thought like he chose when to remember.
Exactly.
Ama anajuanga tu ni venye
Hata watu
this
wengi
time
huwa wanasema
imeslip.
hiyo ujifanya. Kwa nini siku zingine anakumbuka, alafu kuna wale anaongelesha vizuri, and then
I
when
have
the
actually had
visitors
that.
come, they are on best behavior. But when the visitors go, it's like they go back to what now they start. So a lot of caregivers have a lot of anger in them because they are thinking these people living with dementia are intentionally hurting them and intentionally making their lives very difficult. So we have to keep reminding them, no, they are not being difficult. They are not doing it intentionally.
They are sick.
They are sick.
How exactly do you explain the damage of the brain cells to the family or to the caregivers? Because something has happened to the brain and it is degenerating. There are parts of the brain that are supposed to help connect things, the neurons, things that are supposed to help you remember and all these things. And somehow, iko power cut. Yes. How do you explain this to caregivers so that they understand?
So what we do, we work a lot with neurologists. So we invite them for our support group meetings. We ask them, come, break it down for the caregiver. If I speak, my experience is very different from the next person sitting next to me. So when the expert in this area and who deals with the brain comes and explains to them, it makes sense. And also when they go for the diagnosis, the doctors usually sit with them to explain to them how the damage how the damage looks like and how it will be as it continues. Usually they'll also show them the like me when I'm training people, I talk about the brain and show them a normal brain and a brain of a person living with dementia. Now, even if the doctor tells you it's Alzheimer's disease.
And by this brain you mean like an X-ray?
Yes.
Okay.
But now I will use
like an MRI.
Yeah, like an
photo.
MRI, or maybe somebody will go for a PET scan. And so one of the things that I do when I'm also training them is just explain now the changes in the brain and all that. Now my trail of thought has disappeared. But
so sorry.
It's okay. But
Yes.
one of the things, it is important for them to understand the damage, because if they don't, then they will not accept. And of course, as individuals, we also want our loved ones to still be at the same stage where we remembered them. And so they go through grief. So today you have accepted, yes, we have been told they have dementia, we are moving forward. Tomorrow you are so angry. You're like, no, they're just being difficult. For example, you talked about our conversations that you've had. So we agree, we are going to sell maybe part of our land as a family. And Dad is in the conversation and he agrees. Tomorrow morning he wakes up and says, these children are trying to steal from me. And he was part of the conversation and he agreed. And he's not telling you. A number of times, like my dad, we would feed him and then he would go to church and tell them, they don't give me food. I stay hungry all the time. And he's forgotten that he ate. So people start judging you and thinking you are actually mistreating your father or you're trying to steal from your father. So people even out there, when they listen to people, and they're very convincing. How will you not believe an 80-something-year-old when they tell you this is happening in their life? Because if I come and tell you my side of the story, you'll think I'm the one who's actually lying. So it's a very difficult situation to be in as a caregiver.
Do you record, is it okay to record some of those sessions? Like, Dad, tunauza hii shamba, sindio? So you record that meeting that you're having with the siblings and, the family meeting, record it so that tomorrow, in case he forgets, you tell him, Dad, just hold on. Watch this clip.
He will not remember.
He will not remember, but he will see himself there. Okay, so this
Does
is
he
me.
even know himself?
Oh, so now there's that.
Yes. Do you know, like, even when you ask them, like my dad, why he couldn't remember me, it's because I'm older, but maybe if I showed him a photo of when I was younger,
that he'll remember.
He will remember. But he will not remember me as I look. I remember once being called by my siblings, and they're telling me, come to Mombasa now. Dad does not remember you. And I walk. And I go all the way to Mombasa, and I reach, he looks at me, he gives me this wonderful smile. I'm like, these people, why were they making me come all this way? Then he looks at me and asks me, how are you? I'm fine. How are your parents? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. No, you're joking. Then he says, I'm asking how your parents are. And I say, you're one of them. He says, Msichana, I have been telling you, stop calling me your father. What is wrong with you? And I'm thinking, wait a moment. Actually, I took a break. I went outside, cried a little bit, came back. And I'm like, so from then on, I stopped telling him you're one of them. He would ask me how your parents are. Oh, they have said hello to you. And they're asking when you'll
Now you
come and
played
visit.
along.
I played along until he rested. Because I would get very frustrated. Because you can imagine going all the way to Mombasa and then he asks you, who are you?
What is the frustration that you are feeling?
No, I mean, surely, why of all the children did he forget me? And I'm asking myself that question because, and then funny enough, we are a second family. His first wife died and my mom got married. He would remember his first children. But for us, the second generation, he couldn't remember us. He could not remember us completely.
What is it about the brain that makes it possible for the brain to retain information about things that happened when you're much, much younger? And the recent ones, it has issues retaining.
Yes, retaining.
What do the neurologists, how do they explain this?
They need to tell us. I am in another field.
She's in psychology.
I'm in psychology.
Yeah.
But I would want also to know why, because it's a very interesting phenomenon. Yeah, because he would talk about people and he's telling you things. There's a day I found him in the house and he was hiding like in a corner. My dad was 80 and he's hiding in the corner and he's literally crying. And I'm asking him, what is it? And he tells me the cows have refused to go into the pen. And I'm like, Dad, which, of course there are no cows. So I almost asked him rather, which cows? Then I remembered, oh my gosh, I'm not speaking to somebody who's in my world. I have to get into his world. So he said, all these cows and they're not going in. I've been trying, they're not going in. So I told him, don't worry.
Was he now hallucinating?
Of course, there are no cows. It is in his mind somewhere.
Okay.
So I did, you know how you make that sound of let's move the cows. So I made a sound like I've locked the pen.
Yes.
And then I told him, Dad, all the cows are in and we've locked them in.
Yeah.
You know, he came hugging me. He says, thank you. And for me, I was so sad because I was thinking, what happened? Is that part of his childhood? Did something happen to him when he was younger?
Yeah.
Because that is a thing that happened long ago. Because
Yeah,
we don't have cows. We didn't have a cows.
Maybe when he was a boy. Kuna wakati ng'ombe zilikataa kuingia and he got frustrated and probably he thought
it was maybe beaten.
he was going to be punished for it. So he was like, Kenny, this cows, if they don't get in, my dad will finish me. So
he was reliving his childhood.
Is one of his traumas. Now,
yes.
To answer CT, this is just an educated guess. I really don't know how old memories will be retained and then newer ones will disappear. It's like maybe a stack where the old memories ziko hapa chini, so every time there's a new memory come on top.
I think that's what
so pia zikianza kupotea
zinaanza juu zikienda.
So by the time inafika hii ya mwisho sasa, and that's now where probably now you forget to breathe because it has gotten to that primordial point whereby this was the first activity that your body took.
Exactly.
When it got out of your mother's womb, this is the first thing you did. You breathed. So now that you've forgotten literally everything, you've forgotten your family, you've forgotten your work, you've forgotten how to sit, you've forgotten how to go to the toilet. Now you
see, that's why I focus on the brain, because something happens to the brain.
It is something.
All these activities we speak of and we take for granted, they happen in the brain. When you read about it, it boils down to the brain and the brain cells. What the neurons?
Yes.
When whatever it is that makes the brain what it is and enables all the communication in the brain to take place, when all that dies at a very, very fast rate, the brain tends to shrink.
Exactly.
So what happens? The communication that enables you to do what we're now doing just keeps reducing because they keep dying. They keep dying. And they get to a point where the connectivity that is supposed to be there isn't there. Hence those lapses. And that's why this is a message that friend of mine I was telling you about.
Yes.
The consume of alcohol. They say that's what alcohol does. It kills your brain cells.
Yes, it does.
Okay? Those who smoke bangi, I'm told it does the same thing.
Yes.
So you're okay, but somehow, because that brain damage, if you look at people you drink with,
yes,
I'm not referring to you.
You're talking to the listener.
I'm talking to the listener. Yes. You'll find that there are times when somebody drinks and they're looking at you intently and they want to say something. They may even open their mouth, but nothing comes out.
Yes. Yeah.
Then they realize this thing isn't going to. Then
they forget that conversation.
Move on.
they give up.
Yeah, so that one actually happens because
That's true.
alcoholism also delays the synapse between
Yes.
now the
Oh
neurons.
yes. But
Yeah.
You see, those neurons have to be at a certain level of abundance for them to do what they're supposed to do. So when you reduce them, let's say they were here, you reduce them, it's like they move apart. So there's a cavalli. That thing isn't going to connect.
So that electron from this synapse to, this neuron to the next, it's finding difficulty to jump here. So it gets here, and that is why you. I've actually seen such folks, yeah?
Exactly.
They really want to talk, and they're like,
That thing is, he even knows what it is, but it's refusing
actually,
to connect.
in his mind, he has already said it. He probably wants to tell you, pass the salt.
Exactly.
Ama, can we go home?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what
They're
about the
eating
bangi
their
smokers? It is the same.
Yes.
Yeah, that one I really don't know much
Then
about
now,
that research. Yeah.
don't worry. Let me speak from experience.
Okay.
You,
Huh?
yes.
Okay.
I was young once,
Yep. Carry on. You're still young, City. Being 75 has nothing on you. It doesn't, you don't even look like it.
Maybe I told you yesterday.
Yeah.
So that we settle this matter of age. Why don't you just put me at 90?
Okay.
And then,
all right. So you're very young at 90. You're very strong, actually.
See, now we are good.
Right.
Okay. So there's no more guesswork.
Okay.
We're at 90.
All right.
All right. Now, you will find that for a long time it was called a soft drug. But if you look at the effects of it, just observe how people respond to it. You realize there's nothing soft about that drug. Because the way someone repeats what they say.
Yeah.
So it's like there is no more information other than the one that you already have, and it's that which is going to keep playing. And you forget you've actually said it, so now you say it again.
And that's what happens
Yes.
with dementia. Repetition. Yeah, repetition.
There's a viewer here. This clearly is a text that he probably wrote earlier on. Andrew Shira says, I bet to differ. Can you define dementia? Maybe can we redefine dementia for him, and maybe for someone who's just joined the conversation?
May I
later?
insist?
Yeah.
The assumption in that dementia is the ailment. No, it's the cluster name for very many diseases
Exactly.
that relate to the degeneration of the brain through the brain cells and so forth. So so you have to be specific as to what form of dementia somebody has.
Exactly.
Okay?
Well
Yes.
said.
All right.
Well said.
Then there's a so Andrew Shira, I hope that has satisfied you. Marion Mbogwa, good morning, City Movie Radio Generators. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Lizzie, for very informative. Thanks, Liz, very informative. Continue the great work. I was looking for a question here. Nobody war anasema Mbuvi bwana, are you asking for your friend? No, I'm actually asking for you, my listener. Then our very own Brian Odur anasema Brian anakucheka. Anyway, let's continue the conversation. I thought there was a question here that I had seen, but clearly I think I had seen my own things.
Okay.
So for someone who's dealing with a patient in their home, there's something you've mentioned very important. Zileza, just be patient with them, because this is definitely not their fault. But going back to the question I asked you earlier, do they need a caregiver 24/7, and who is that caregiver? Is it a nurse? Is it a house help? Is it another family member? Who? Because now I'm working, for instance. God forbid I have someone in the house who has that situation. Now who do I leave them with?
Exactly. So some will have to have a family caregiver. Some may end up having, what do we call it? Employing a caregiver who they will take care of their loved ones. So it depends on the situation in the family. Some, of course, it also includes finances. So some will need money to do all these things.
Yeah.
So as a family, you have to make this decision and decide that this is the kind of person we want to take care of our loved ones. Now, there are some people who think if they want to have a trained caregiver,
Yes.
that's like a nurse aid
or a specialized
somebody who's in this field. But also we've learned that actually caregiving is actually about love. you could be trained on caregiving, but you do not have that love. So, like for example, the person who took care of our dad was our shamba boy. He had so much love for my dad, and he took care of my dad. So we trained him as we went along, also finding out what it is. It was because my dad got sick in the 90s, so we didn't know what dementia was at that point. But a lot of times, just look for the person, one who the loved one agrees with and they are connecting, and then have them now take care of your loved one. Yes, so it could be a trained caregiver, it could be you who will end up training your loved one, your caregiver.
Yes,
you make a decision based on the love that you see, the connection between your care recipient and the person taking care of them.
Other options, is there a hospice that this patient can be taken to?
So there are homes that, but from our African how we have been brought up, we always feel like if we took our loved ones to a home, we are actually
abandoning them.
So
actually, you put them in storage, really, to put it crudely.
To put it crudely.
And other family members, your uncles and aunties, yani umepeleka brother yangu, sister yangu kwa.
But that logic from an African traditional African perspective is actually very sound. I'm going to explain to you what I mean. If you look at what it is that was the composition of a family in a traditional setting, there were always children in that home. As one got older, one never felt abandoned.
There was always somebody.
There was always somebody to talk to, somebody to tell off, somebody to send. You never stopped being active. So the brain didn't have very much of a chance of doing the shutdown that modern times brings with you. Because you get older, you spend a lot of time with yourself. In a traditional setting, nobody gave you that chance.
Yes.
There was always something, and then people would come to you because there's something they want to talk to you about. Okay? I don't know whether there's research that has been done. I know there is actually. Connecting how it is the brain degenerates when the significance of your life in your own mind depletes. And that's why age comes in. You stop being significant.
That's the thing.
Are you talking about like when I start feeling useless?
Yes, you put it well. People don't visit you. People don't care for you.
They don't call you as often.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I use the word storage. So you've gone there. If it's in your rural home, you have a nice house, but it's you and the house help. If there's a house help. Yes, but it's generally you and yourself. Now, human beings are social creatures. We don't thrive very well in that sort of setup.
And that is why actually one of the things that even progresses the dementia faster is that what you've talked about, we are social beings. So social interactions. You know how you go even that drinking even with your friend, even if it's once a week, you have gone to sit with people to talk. Mamas with their chamas, you are sitting with church, that kind of thing. Having a community around you, not being alone. People who stay by themselves, and like my dad would talk to people, but he was a loner. He was really a loner, and that's why he got dementia, because of his just sitting by himself. So what you had asked earlier, are there places where we can take them? So there are homes, but people do not, maybe unless you want to take them for a day activity, and then now bring them back. Sometimes also you need to breathe as a caregiver. So there are places where you can take them, but sometimes also the costs can be quite high. So it's things that we are still learning how to do these things in Kenya.
When you say high, give us a rough estimate of how much it would cost if someone were to be put in that home.
Over 100,000 per month if you're taking them to stay there.
100K.
Yes, that's the cost.
But can we discuss
that includes medication? Because that would make sense if there's medication.
So they will take them but you must have insurance also. But at that age also, we hope that they still can be, if they didn't have insurance before, they will be taken to hospital. But of course there will be costs.
Yeah.
So, but this is just for their meals, being taken care of, having a caregiver. You might end up having to buy diapers, and we are at that stage.
It's actually cheaper than to just keep them home and hire. I'd rather even pay someone 50 G's a month.
Yes,
to take care of this person
at home.
Yeah.
So we are still getting there. There are good places, but the cost can also be very high. And also families, like you said, you're working. So who else? Sometimes we've had cases where like for us, the main breadwinner was dad, and he got sick. So my mom had to be the next caregiver, so I had to go and look for work so that I can be able now to supplement the income that used to come at home. So there's a lot of changes in the family when one gets sick. Yeah.
You know, there's always the question of who cares for the caregiver.
Exactly.
Because the process of caring for someone with dementia is draining.
Very.
It is exhaustively draining because it taxes your very being. But there's something I was thinking about. When we talk about diseases, the group disease that we refer to as dementia, the understanding of it, I think, should begin with how do you avert it? What are the things that one can do to raise the probability of slowing down that process or preventing it from even just beginning to take root? Because such processes are there, and those are the discussions that one should have. What are the things? And forget this discussion of eating carrots and kale. Wachana na hiyo. What it is that
carrots zimekufanyia nini?
Lakini kuna mtu alimuhubiria hiyo someone.
No, what I'm saying is
vitamins are very important, by the way.
We don't refuse, but he has said carrot.
City, continue.
What are some of the
things? So one of the things we tell people, of course, exercising, both physically and the mind, eat right. And also the Mediterranean diet is what we tell people. You know, the nuts, the berries, all these things, let's have them. I know they're very expensive.
Berries now, does it include mapera?
Hizo zote kula.
Grapes.
City is drying me, I can see.
Strawberries.
And the carrots and the kale, they are all there.
Actually, you know, you can get those things from a nice farmer's market.
Exactly.
City, your story nimemaliza. But now that you're 90, you need to know these things, eh? Get them.
No, he was going to say something about the berries. Now that you're 90, tell us.
No, you can actually go to a nice farmer's market and get the berries.
You know,
nyanya pia ni berries, eh? Now you know.
We are talking about lifestyle.
Yes.
And I want the conversation to move towards things that people can identify with. This strawberry thing. Wacha, okay?
Kwa nini tuache raspberry, blueberries, strawberries?
Bro, this is bougie talk. Okay?
It's bougie. Okay.
Look, talk guava.
That's
okay?
also good. Yeah.
Talk loquats, because you still find trees
everywhere.
Yes. Talk mango. Okay? All right? Talk pineapple, things that people identify with directly.
This friend of yours can't afford raspberries.
We're not talking about my friend now.
He's not asking for a friend for this one. So we eat healthy, exercise both physically and mentally. Ukipanda pikipiki tafadhali, please wear a helmet. Because a lot of people who have had accidents 10 years later, we are seeing the effect of
Actually,
that.
You're saying helmet. People who played rugby.
That's the thing.
Concussions.
Yes. And then you see even boxing.
Oh, boxing is now
because we remember Parkinson.
Bigger culprit.
Yes, because Parkinson is also part of the dementia.
It is.
Yes, so also those are the kind of some sports also can contribute.
Yeah.
You know,
anything anything that affects your heart affects your mind.
You know the idea of physical activity like walking. The idea of something as simple as not eating alone, okay, irrespective of what you're eating, okay. See, if you look at the stats about men and women and who is more likely to encounter dementia, you'll say that probably 2/3 some stats say it is women, but what you need to understand is read further. It's because a lot of dementia is related to age, and women live longer than men.
Exactly.
That's why those stats are high.
Yes.
Okay? And then also, women go through hormonal changes that men don't. And some of those hormonal changes, the depletion of certain elements of the hormones that could have acted as a defense against that deterioration decrease as you get older. So that likelihood is there. But now this is me throwing in something anecdotal. An African woman, in the weight of the burdens that they carry and the responsibility they carry, the weight of it, that thing can that thing can throw a curveball at you.
Exactly.
True story.
Yes.
That's true.
And as you get older, it doesn't get less. Yes. But I suspect that even now in modern times, when older people still take care of their children who are also older.
Exactly. Plus
So-
grandchildren.
Yes. So that the equation where the children grow up to help look after you, that is not quite the case. So the pressure that ordinarily you would think someone would be relieved of, they are not relieved of.
Yeah.
You live with it throughout.
I've just remembered
Well
actually.
said.
I've just remembered something as we finish off. You know, there's this chances that you've met it in your career. There's an amoeba that actually eats the brain, and it's mostly found in water. So it's waterborne, and someone might end up infecting themselves as they ingest that unclean water. Then they start losing their memory because now that amoeba literally feeds on your brain, and it might present itself as amoeba. Now the problem with this particular dementia, the problem with this amoeba, it progresses really fast. Like within several days of infection you die. So by the time the doctors are actually finding out that huyu ni amoeba,
May I ask a serious question?
yes sir.
Is this something real, or is it from
It's
one of
actually
those
real.
movies you watch, like
It's actually
the,
real.
the Living Dead and,
It is.
and zombie apocalypse?
No. This is actually real. Let me just do a quick
The two of you are
brain-eating amoeba.
See, I told you this guy watches movies. Which movie? What's that movie called?
It's actually called Naegleria fowleri, brain-eating amoeba. Naegleria fowleri is an amoeba that can cause a serious central nervous system infection. The amoeba is found in warm and still fresh water bodies of water. I remember because I learned it in one of my classes. So it actually, by the time they might think it's an onset of dementia. Kumbe ni akili inakulwa tu pole pole. Yeah. But
We've learned something new.
Ubongo. Si
Naam.
akili.
Sawa. Hey bro. Elizabeth Mutunga Aki, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. I think I've had fun. I've learned many things here
Yes.
today.
Yes, we are happy, and our audience is happy from the comments you have seen, the fact that you've come here and you've debunked some of these stories or myths that we thought we knew about dementia.
Yes.
Come back again. Let's talk
Thank
about
you.
Alzheimer's.
Yes.
Because nimeona pia unafanya hiyo maneno.
Senior
Or rather
pamoja.
you're in that field.
In that field.
So we do welcome you here again.
Thank
Feel free
you.
to pop in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, karibu sana. That's Elizabeth Mutunga, founder and CEO, Alzheimer's and Dementia Organization, Kenya. How can we get you, by the way? Are you on any social media that is ad hoc?
Yes.
Yes.
So our website is www.alzkenya.org. All the other social handles are over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that if someone is having a family member in that situation, they can find
They
help.
can always find help.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that work you do.
Asante sana.
All right. So
All
here,
right.
here's the news with Miss Maganga.
Radio generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Nearly half of Kenyan women say they no longer want more children or are considering permanent methods such as sterilization, pointing to changing reproductive choices in the country. A new Ministry of Health report reveals. The report, unveiled Thursday during the National Update on Family Planning Program, shows that 46% of women aged 15 to 49 either wish to stop childbearing completely or prefer sterilization. A further 30% said they would like to delay their next pregnancy, while 17% want another child soon. Tension is high in Imbolot, Transmara South, Narok County, after police officers were deployed to evict locals. The move was meant to clear the way for new land buyers to fence off 400-acre parcel bordering the Mara Game Reserve. The deployment has sparked fears of clashes, with hundreds of youth vowing to resist the eviction. Young men from Keringani have camped in the forest, armed with traditional weapons, to protect what they claim is ancestral land from alleged grabbers.
Na shamba hili ni shamba la community kwa miaka mingi. Ni shamba ambalo ilitengwa mwaka wa 1992 ili kuwe sehemu ya community. Lakini unfortunately kukapatikana na wachache wetu ambao waliweza kushikana na wakaweza kuuza community, wakakuja kujua kwamba imeuzwa. So tunataka tu tuombe serikali ya kwamba polisi wametumwa hapa bila court orders, hatujajua wamekuja kwa njia gani.
Shock has gripped Samutet village in Kericho County after a 19-year-old man went on a violent rampage, killing 3 family members. Kericho County Police Commander James Ngetich confirmed the suspect, identified as Evans Kiprop, first attacked his 70-year-old aunt before turning on his 28-year-old sister-in-law and 3-year-old niece, slashing them with a panga. Ngetich said angry residents descended on the suspect and lynched him shortly after the killings. The bodies of the victims were moved to Kericho Referral Hospital mortuary.
Hapa leo mwendo wa saa 4 kumekuwa na kisa ambaye mtu mmoja ambaye ni wa jamii moja ameweza kuumiza, kuwajeruhi na kuwaua watu 3. Wa kwanza ameanza na shangazi wake ambaye ni ako na miaka 70. Baada ya hapo akaenda kwa dada wake, shemeji wake ambaye ako na miaka 28 na mtoto wake mdogo wa miaka 3. Baada ya hiyo kisanga, wananchi ambao walishikwa na hamaki wakamvamia na pia huyo mshukiwa amepoteza maisha yake. Ile kitu ningesi wananchi ni kwamba kama familia iko na changamoto, jamani, familia ikae chini.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission says it is prepared to conduct all the upcoming by-elections after securing funds for the exercise. Appearing before the National Assembly's Constitution Implementation Oversight Committee, the commission, led by its chairman Erastus Ethokon, said the campaign period for the by-elections will run from the 8th of October to 48 hours before the election day.
We made spirited efforts and appeals and meetings with the Treasury, and as of Friday, it was Friday, yes, we unlocked that. So they gave us assurance that they'll give us exchequer and that the financing for the by-elections is it's there. We said even during our interviews that we look after the interest of all Kenyans, including the special interest groups, the marginalized, the youth, the people with disability and stuff like that. So we approach this thing from a human rights-based perspective.
The French Navy has intercepted nearly 10 tons of cocaine valued at about $610 million, which is equivalent to 80.2 billion Kenya shillings, off the West African coast in one of the biggest drug busts in the region this year. The operation was carried out on Monday by 2 French naval ships following a tip-off from maritime intelligence units, anti-drug agencies and the British National Crime Agency. The narcotics were discovered aboard an unflagged fishing vessel in the Gulf of Guinea. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation. generation's The People's Breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Generation. The time right now is 7 minutes past 8 o'clock in about 40 seconds. How are you doing? I hope wherever you are, everything is fantastic on your end. Let me see who's tuned in at this particular point. Amesema nini? Where is that comment? Yeah, here we go. Elkana Naibe tuned in. Very constructive conversation. Yes, indeed. Then Norbert is telling you CT. Amesema hivi. CT wants fruits. CT wants fruits are readily available and affordable. Movie is a cool kid. But wanting strawberries makes me cool. How?
No. It is strawberries are good. But you have to find the equivalent.
Yeah.
In fruits that are readily available and fruits that we can easily relate to.
Yes.
Strawberry is bougie.
Really?
It's not negative.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it is bougie.
Bwana, kweni mnaishi wapi?
Blackberries are local and you find very many of them. People have them, you even find them big. So I'm simply saying this. The conversation has to be had at a level where somebody can relate to it. If I go to a market to do my shopping,
yes.
Can I afford a pawpaw? Yes. Can I afford half a pineapple? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Now, I'm looking at Tabi Soon Joroge anasema, can listening to radio help with keeping the loved one informed of the current affairs, dates, the day, nini. Tabi, I think that, yeah, I mean, especially if you're listening to a news station or a news show, chances are you will actually get that information, and the listener will get that information, the patient rather, will get that information and probably know, okay, we're actually in the year 2025 and not in 1992. Marion Bogo asking, what is the difference between dementia and Alzheimer? So Marion, let me tell you this, and also Dennis Nyariki has asked the same question. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to invite Elizabeth back probably next week to come and join that and talk about Alzheimer so that we can get more on that particular disease. Right now though,
let me answer.
Yes.
Alzheimer is one of the diseases that fall in the class of diseases that we refer to as dementia. Sawa?
Ndio.
Yeah.
All right. Tumeelewa.
It's one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
So
kuna zingine sio hiyo peke yake.
Ndio.
That just happens to be one of them.
Na Elizabeth atakuja hapa.
Yes.
Tutaongea juu ya dementia next week. Alzheimer. And we shall remind ourselves of dementia as well. All right. So at 10 minutes past 8 o'clock, let me introduce Gloria Oroba, nominated senator. Mheshimiwa, a very good morning to you and welcome back to
Good
Radio
morning.
Generation.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad to see you. The last time you were here, ukakuja ukatusalimia tukachapa story mingi. Then the next day I'm seeing you huku tao unaleta
was it right before?
It was, yes. It was before.
It was after.
Was it after?
I thought it was after.
No, she came
when
here.
She was dealing with the cops at Parliament.
Yes, when
I think it was after.
When
yes,
somebody was
you dealt with the
exercising
cops.
weightlifting with her.
Yes. She was also weightlifting.
I never
chains.
dealt with the cops. The cops dealt with me.
Right. and how did that situation end? Because we just saw one picture on paper and then we saw several videos online.
Well, I mean, as is with this administration of late, they are definitely not interested in obeying court orders. They are not interested in any institutions or just upholding the constitution. So, yeah. Your guess is as good as mine.
We sat here a few days later then after that incident with Senator Gerard Gay.
And what did he have to say about it?
So we asked him, bana, mbona mnafanya dada yetu hivi? Akasema sasa kitu ufanye, hiyo story akasema imeisha, you move on. And he actually said the only thing now you can negotiate for is your salary, but otherwise this other situation is done.
And that's the thing. You see, those are the mindsets that are advising the president. Because to them it's like, it's done, move on, you know, the same way, like, oh, you killed Kenyans, move on, we've buried them, let's move on. Yeah, I mean, we are going to move on. I mean, as you can see, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm not stuck in that situation. But some of us understand that justice must prevail. And whether it prevails now, whether it prevails next month, whether it prevails in 2 years, you know, I mean, if we are interested in keeping this country as an independent state, run by rules, by the constitution, we should not entertain people like Cherargei. Yeah. Because, you know, that also means that I can wake up today and just carry out an injustice towards my neighbor and then say, move on. Yeah, and then so what republic is that we are trying to create?
Has this ever happened ever before in this country?
Let me ask a question
Yes,
in
sir.
response to that. Has there been an Oroba before this?
There can only be one me.
Yes.
There can only be one me. I know that Senate and the powers that be, when I mean powers that be, I mean the people who run Senate. I've said this before. Senate is run by the clerk of the Senate, and then the speaker of the Senate is a subordinate of the clerk of the Senate. Those
Really?
two, yes. Those two people will not allow, because they know that if I'm in that space, I will continue to talk, I will continue to highlight, possibly even now bring evidence and record all the things that are happening. So for sure, they are not going to allow for anything like that, because they want to continue with their illegalities, the corruption, the spending, so they will do whatever it takes. We've seen where we are with this particular administration, and yeah, so for me, I'm aware that what I'm fighting for is for Kenyans not to give up.
Yeah. Did they apologize for manhandling? Okay, for woman handling you because they were women?
No, and I'm still waiting to see, because you know they arrested me and I was there's some charges were put to place, so I've been waiting to be called, to be taken to court. I understand the file is being put together. I'm waiting. You know, for me,
What was the charge though?
They charged me with disturbance, something like creating disturbance.
Disturbance?
Yeah.
Where? Because I remember you on your vehicle.
Quite frankly, honestly, we need to have, and this is my take of this, is it's their right to think that I created disturbance. But I had a court order. So the people they should have arrested actually is the clerk and the speaker of the Senate for not you know, following the court orders. When you have a court order, that's how it works in a country that actually follows the rule of law. But you know, right now we are in Kenya.
There are those who would argue that they understood that a court order may be given, so they went and swore in the individual.
Yes, they did. They did. In fact, what happened is they knew that they had such a weak case, and on that same day they knew that the judgment was coming out with orders, and because they knew their case was so weak and they knew the illegalities that they had participated in, and they knew that they could not compromise that particular tribunal, so they knew they were going to lose the case. So what they did, they hurriedly swore her in, so that it's like, oh, hata kama umeshinda kesi, we already have someone in office. But still, the judgment was very clear. It came out and said everything that happened after the illegal expulsion of this person is null and void, and therefore she should be reinstated.
That's what it said.
Yes, it's
so
very clear.
Anything that happened, which means even that swearing in,
anything.
But
the swearing in, the gazettement of the vacancy, all those things are null and void. And what is of concern is that they went as they should, it's their right. They appealed to the High Court, and they tried to seek stay orders so that they can protect the lady that's there. And they have since not gotten any stay orders. And so they continue to participate in illegalities. And she's getting a salary illegally.
So the senator, again, Cherargei, who was he said that you had so many opportunities to ensure that this didn't get to where it is
Yes,
right
what
now.
he meant is that I had so many opportunities to kiss us. I had so many opportunities to sleep sleep with whoever needs to be slept with. I had so many opportunities to bend over backwards and say, listen, I'm a woman, I'm sorry, I tried to have a voice. I know I did. But you know, you cannot if I've told you my problem is a problem of dignity, you cannot present me with opportunities to
and dignify yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because
so he's right. He's absolutely right. I had opportunities where they said, go make peace, go bend over, go.
But he was also talking about other legal processes, like you could have stopped.
No. I've exhausted. That is not right. That is wrong. But again, it's Senator Cherargei. Really, guys, when you also call people here, Cherargei, you can listen to him about Nandi streets and the things he's doing in Nandi. But Cherargei is not a person you sit down and listen to in terms of legal advice. In terms of you don't.
Senator,
he's a lawyer, though.
He's a lawyer, Senator.
Karen Nyamu is a lawyer.
Senator, there are very many lawyers in this country.
Doesn't mean that you specialize in all law.
No.
It doesn't mean you specialize in all law. Okay. For instance, I'm just being frank. I'm being frank.
Please go on.
As a lawyer, it doesn't mean if you're a lawyer, you know everything. There are people who do family law. There are people who just went and got their degrees in law. They've never practiced, so they don't know anything. True. There are people who have speciality in constitutional law. There are people who know about political cases.
And who else is
lawyer?
Well, I'll tell you.
I'm just saying.
Where?
I'm just saying.
No,
show me.
I'm CS Murkomen.
No, I'm just saying because you're the one who said Cherargei is a lawyer.
This man is an instigator. Please do not follow his trend of thought.
I'm just saying. How many cases of this kind of nature has Cherargei won?
Okay.
Forget winning. Has Cherargei been involved in?
Look.
So, there are many lawyers. By the way, there are so many lawyers who are telling me not to go to the tribunal. And that was not the case. And so, I have
These are your colleagues in Senate? Or even
lawyers even outside.
Okay.
So, and this is also why some people, they get legal counsel, but they fail. Because as much as it's legal counsel, it's actually not the right legal counsel.
Okay.
So, I'm just trying to say, and not to call Cherargei stupid, I'm just trying to say that Cherargei would be the last person to tell me about what process.
Why are we discussing Senator Cherargei?
Because this guy is throwing his name back and forth. I would like for us to move past this.
Thank you.
It's because I asked him that question and then he gave me a response, and I honestly needed to know from the senator's point of view, that is now Senator Roba, what she is it actually factual that she had opportunities to ensure that we didn't get to this
By
point?
the way, just so I can summarize this.
Yes.
I was presented for a disciplinary hearing on Friday, which we got a court order against. UDA and all those corrupt people decided to ignore that court order.
Yeah.
So on Friday, they executed
what was the court order about?
To stop the disciplinary.
All right.
Yeah. The court order actually said that this hearing that you have summoned on this particular date should not happen because there has been issues of the fairness of the whole thing. And so the order was stopping it so that we can go to court and listen to what's happening. They ignored that. That was on Friday. And then they sat on that Friday and they expelled me.
From UDA?
Yes. And on Monday, so Saturday and Sunday, those are weekend days. Saturday and Sunday, actually the Secretary General on Saturday was in a workshop somewhere in Machakos, and he was quoted saying, "Tumemalizana na huyo mama." You understand? And on Monday,
who said that again?
Hassan Omar.
Okay.
Yeah. And on Monday so that's Friday. Friday we serve them with an order. They tell us go, you'll come back.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday was a weekend. Saturday Hassan Omar is hard telling people they are done with me. On Monday they apparently had a NEC meeting where they presented the report from the Friday hearing. They presented the report on Monday, and the NEC meeting ratified that they've expelled me on Monday morning.
Okay.
Right? So when Cherargei says I had enough, then now after Monday, on Wednesday, so Tuesday, when I'm hearing from the news and everything, on Wednesday, they gazette my seat vacant. For you to be able to even appeal within the internal systems of the party, you need to be served with the hearings, so that you can use the hearings and whatever it is they used. So even they didn't even communicate that they've removed me. The speaker, because all these people it's one entity. The speaker works for UDA.
Okay.
So UDA on Monday, when they were done with whatever they were doing, they called the speaker, said, by the way, iki tumwarakishe. On Tuesday, they needed, what actually stopped them from giving that thing on Tuesday as is because they realized that they needed ORPP to send a letter. So the small delay of Tuesday was because ORPP needed to write a letter. ORPP is another entity that received a phone call and were told, andikeni barua mwisho mama. In between all those processes, you're supposed to have at least 14 days for the person.
And this happened within how many days?
Friday, Saturday and Sundays a weekend. Monday, Wednesday, my seat is vacant.
Okay.
Yeah. So what can Cherargei tell you about that? That's why I tell you, don't listen to Cherargei.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
these are not rumors. This is something that happened. So on Wednesday, my seat was declared vacant. Yeah. Then by that time, we went to the tribunal. So now when we went to the tribunal, they realized, okay, this is a political party tribunal. We went back also to the High Court to seek contempt orders. And then now things started happening. And then they tried to push IBC to gazette. IBC at that time felt this is too much. This thing is being, people are watching. So IBC dragged their feet. But IBC on Thursday should have gazetted the next person so that on Tuesday, come the following week, she would have been sworn in.
Okay.
They got a problem with IBC. IBC got cold feet. Now, when the ruling was supposed to come
why
out...
cold feet? Maybe
Because-
they're just being...
No, because at that time also, we were before, IBC was also before court. Remember, they had illegalities with the other case of Gachagua. So they said this, people are looking at IBC. How can we then now again go and... Right now, it's too... Hiki tu iko kwa media sana. Thanks, media. So, media bought me some time there, which we were in the tribunal. So remember, then everything went down. There was a lot of other things happening. And then a day before, so that Friday and then Tuesday we were getting, is it Tuesday or Wednesday we were getting the judgment, IBC was pressured to gazette. And then on Friday, IBC gazetted the lady.
Okay. All right.
Which is also weird because IBC was before the tribunal with us, and IBC was on record through their lawyer saying they're waiting for the tribunal to give them guidance so that they can take the next steps. So what happened to waiting for the tribunal? A phone call happened. So when you look at, so for me, if you ask me right now in that situation, Cherargei can't know because he has never been suspended. He can't be suspended. He bends over backwards to make sure that he is, I mean, he can never be in a situation where I am in because he doesn't even speak the truth. He can't stand out for anything. Cherargei will work for his safety.
Okay.
That's the kind of person that he is. So he doesn't even know what it means to be at loggerheads with your boss.
How different is he from other politicians, except yourself, of course?
No, there are other politicians who will actually tell the party leader or the president or whoever, by the way, me, I'm with you, I like you, we are in your party, but no. Many. You could see it even in the impeachment patterns for the Kericho guy. Mandago did not impeach the guy. And yet they had orders from above to impeach the guy.
Mandago has his own problems, doesn't he?
Yeah, but even with his problems, he actually decided, because Mandago is a person who right now should not even take any risks, but still even with his problems, he was like, you know what, I'm going to risk this one because this one is wrong. But Cherargei is not that person. Cherargei, the moment you tell him, how do you want me to vote? What do you want me to say? So let's not discuss Cherargei. Yeah, let's do that.
So you said that you have moved on from this situation.
I've not moved on from the situation because I'm not the type to move on like that. I will move on at my terms. What I have said is I am aware that there is no intention for this administration and particularly the Senate to follow any court orders.
Mheshimiwa, let
with
me
regards
ask you a
to this.
question.
I'm aware, so
Mheshimiwa.
it is not coming as a surprise.
Mheshimiwa.
Yeah.
You, there was a time you wanted to be an MP.
I still want to be an MP.
Well, let me start my sentence again. There was a time you wanted to be an MP.
Yes.
The people of that constituency didn't seem to share that same idea with you.
I didn't come that far though.
It is okay.
They were not given the opportunity because I really didn't get to the ballot.
What happened to you?
I lost the primaries.
The primaries, who was electing? Who was determining?
The party primaries were being determined by the members of the party. That's why ideally when you lose the party primary, some people choose to go independent because they know that maybe the people, the constituency at large still wants them. Yeah, but I didn't come that far.
Why didn't you go independent?
Because to be honest, as my first time in politics, I listened to everyone else. And they tell you don't dare, and so I got cold feet.
Now,
I didn't have the balls.
The reason
City, kindly proceed. The question is...
I am proceeding. You know, Mheshimiwa here is treating me to shock therapy, and she's circumventing my thought processes. So anyway, by the time everything that you're saying happens, if we take what you're saying to be true, clearly you stepped on a live wire.
Definitely.
You offended some people quite profoundly.
Yeah.
Because if I'm to believe what you're saying, that's a lot of effort that people have gone into to keep you out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What live wire did you step on?
I blew the whistle. I mean, you've just seen in the papers the guy who blew the whistle on whatever got fired. The
Rotich.
Yeah.
The sharp person.
Yeah. By the way, I was also the sponsor of the whistleblower protection bill. It's funny, but
how useful is that bill?
Very useful if it is not watered down, just like the conflict of interest bill. The conflict of interest bill, in its originality, was going to stop a lot of politicians and government employees from doing business with government. But it was watered down. The whistleblower protection bill, as I had it before the National Assembly said that I could not sponsor it because it's a money bill, so they took it to the National Assembly. The way I had it under the APNAC network is an awesome bill. It would protect all these whistleblowers. But I know it will be watered down, especially if it runs through this parliament.
This whistleblowing that you speak of, did it go against the dictates of the party that sponsored you to the Senate?
No. It went against individuals' interests, not the party's ideology, not the party's... Because the party's ideology and everything is even to deal with corruption. But it went against interests that were at personal level of certain people.
Let me ask the question again. What did you whistleblow?
3 things, actually. The first one was all the corruption that's happening in Parliament, which thankfully the president later came to realize that I was always saying the truth. So he also said there's corruption in Parliament. Corruption is in different forms. There's corruption of money exchanging hands. There's corruption of abuse of office, people using their offices to make sure bills are being shut down and things like that. That's corruption of influence. And there's corruption of favors. For instance, I've said sex for work. Exchange of
in Parliament,
sexual favors, so you can get trips,
yes,
so you can get
in Parliament.
Yes.
God Almighty.
I cannot say National Assembly because I haven't been to National Assembly, but in Senate for sure, 300%. And that is the reason why they have refused to be very transparent on the expenditures of all the local and the international trips. It's a very simple audit and an account that can be shown to the Kenyans of who travels, who they travel with. Today, if you pull up the travel report from Senate, you can see that I've traveled maybe 3 trips, and when I traveled, I went with CT and I went with who, and you can see a pattern of who travels and who they travel with. And you can see a pattern.
It's all documented.
It's all documented.
Because
you get money to travel, and for you to get that money, it has to be accounted under a trip. It has to be accounted under either per diem.
And the people who are benefiting from it must also be documented.
So if I'm lying, because they say she's a liar, she speaks too much. If I'm lying, just put out the travel report. Let Kenyans see that Oroba is lying. If you put out the travel reports, you will see who Oroba has been traveling with, and how many times she travels, and why she's traveling for everything. She's an agriculture expert, a corruption expert, gender expert. She's now at New York because she's an expert of whatever is happening at Unga. I mean, you can be able to see a pattern of exchange of favors for trips. You can be able to see a pattern of corruption in form of influence by office, because there are people who constantly travel under the office of the speaker.
Constantly.
Hey.
There are people who constantly travel under the sponsorship of the office of the clerk.
There's something I need to ask here, because this has always puzzled me. What is it about these trips? Why do people break an arm and a leg for these trips?
Because it's a lot of money.
Okay, what is a lot of money?
Your per diem.
Okay, maybe what it is asking, for example, if I go to Unga today as a senator, what's my per
New
diem?
York is about $1,300 a day, US dollars.
So what?
So that's about 169K
per day. And you definitely have a
that.
relative who lives there, so you're not going to spend any of it on accommodation. And you're definitely not going to eat anything more than 3,000 Kenya shillings a day. You're probably not going to eat because you'll be eating at the Unga conferences and whatever. So you have 169,000 in your pocket every day.
And on average, on average,
10 days minimum.
So I have a cool 1.7 M for those few days.
Every time you travel, you can buy a car.
And not just any car.
Now go to all our social media pages and see how many times some people have traveled and how many cars that is.
You guy, my guy. So now you have your answer.
No, I haven't. That's just the first question.
I mean, an average car is
1.8 to 2 million.
That's a very decent car.
Yeah.
The follow-up to that question is there no ceiling for the number of times somebody can travel?
No, that's absolutely not. There's no ceiling. The ceiling is the ceiling that you use to get the travel.
Is there no
you get
budget?
what I'm going with that?
Is there no budget?
There is a budget, but you see, for instance, I talked about the head of media. There's a lady who was busy abusing me on social media. She's the head of media in the Senate.
Okay. Head of media.
She's in charge of all the journalists who get approval to get into the Senate and do their reporting.
Oh, so she's like the parliamentary media liaison.
Absolutely.
Okay.
On the day when I was being stopped from entering, she gave a warning to all the journalists. And if I'm lying, ask any journalist who was there that they shouldn't be seen trying to take photos or covering the story. Because they knew they
covering
were
the arrest.
Covering the illegality.
Okay.
She was there taking videos of me and laughing and sending to her boss and whoever else she was sending to. They probably have like an inside WhatsApp group where they, they corrupt people and they joke about the things they're doing. And literally that circus was like on, it must have been like on a Thursday. I can't remember which day it was. And 3 days later, she was on a plane. And there was no budget to accommodate her for that particular travel, but they found a budget from the speaker's office because she was being told, "Asante sana, thank you, did a good job."
Good job, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Quite damning conversations that.
And if I'm lying, let her come and say she didn't go. She was in Turkey.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. Do employees of Senate and Parliament get a similar per diem? Ama ya inakuanga chini kidogo?
No, it's not the same.
Okay.
It's not the same. It's different for a parliamentarian, and there is a thought process behind that because the expectation is that where you sleep is not the same place that, let's say, for instance, an intern in Parliament will sleep.
Okay.
It is expected that an honorable member, a person of that stature, will not sleep in a $15 hotel. It is expected they will sleep like in a $60 hotel.
Do they know Kenyans well, these people?
But you see, the thing is, it's not even about knowing Kenyans. It's not, the issue is not even about that disparity. It's like you said, City. Is there a ceiling? Is there a justification? What's the return on investment? Why are you there? There are people who go for security meetings and they know nothing about
security.
Ukraine, for instance, or even what's
Israel.
happening in the world, Israel.
They probably think Ukraine is the Middle East.
They know nothing about, forget Ukraine, maybe you've gone too far. Just ask them about our border control here. They have no clue, but they are in a security meeting representing the Senate.
Land forces were
They have never legislated on anything in security. They've never even sat through a workshop of any legislation on security. But you find they are in New York.
Yeah. So you brought up these conversations and you flagged them basically, and this is what got you into trouble.
And I didn't want to bring them up. I only brought them up because finally it got to me. It's not like I went out of my way to bring them up.
Is it because you were almost falling victim to this particular situation?
In fact, I did fall victim, and that's why I brought it up. So you asked me about stepping on live wires. That was one of them. The second thing is, I started an inquiry at the Senate for the scam that is the labor export program. You remember? And because of my inquiry, Alfred Mutua was summoned by the Labour Committee. And when he was summoned, to date, he has been unable to give us a database of, he talks about, I don't know how many thousand, 750,000 to 1 million people having left the country. We simply wanted the names.
Yeah.
We simply wanted the names. Just give us, I mean, if CT has left the country and gone to Saudi Arabia, surely CT has gone through your program. You must have CT in your database.
So he
To
never
date,
provided a single name?
Never. He came back with some lie about me running an illegal agency, which everybody could see that's a lie. I mean, honestly speaking.
Senator Oroba now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He tried to spin it. Luckily, the media, thank you, media, the media could see through it, so they didn't even feature that whole nonsense. And he said it in the inquiry that I'm going to lose my job. And I said, bring it on, because I mean...
Oh, Dr. Alfred now.
Yeah, so there was there was Alfred Mutua, and then obviously I went to pick up my cousin from the airport, and they were like, "We are done with you."
He said this to your face, that you're going to lose your job.
He said it in camera. He said it in the media was there. And in fact, he's the one who instituted the thing at the UDA, because the complainant who was saying that I should not be a state officer is one of the rogue agents.
Okay.
Who got away with murder, literally, because people have died because of the scam that is this labor. He got away with it. This is the audacity that some of these people in this administration have. And they know that they are covered, that they can walk free, they can score. Honestly speaking, you know, when you ask, how are we having people being gunned down in Nairobi? Let me tell you, the frustration that is out there by general Kenyans and people who have been meted with a lot of injustices. Because how can you do this to thousands of Kenyans? Some killed themselves. I know of a case of a suicide because of having put in money, and then they didn't go and all of that. And you don't care. And then you wake up the next week.
By the way, the suicide even occurs with people who actually go to those destinations and find they can't cope.
So when I say they are rogue agents getting away with murder, I mean exactly that. And by the way, he went ahead and sponsored them to sue me. So they've even sued me. You know, they in fact...
The agents have sued you?
Yeah, so the clerk even at one point went around and said, I'll finish her. I'll bankrupt her. He was telling my colleagues, I'll make sure by the time I'm done with her, she'll be nothing.
Mheshimiwa, you're very vocal about these issues. You don't fear that they'll get you in deeper trouble?
I mean, they've taken away everything they can take away. Unless they now take away my life, which I have gotten threats.
You've received death
this
threats.
Small girl who means nothing.
Have you reported this to the police, DCI?
Why haven't they followed the court orders? Because you are reporting to the criminal.
But have you reported it nonetheless?
You really ask me that question?
Yes, we are actually.
No.
Okay.
I have shouted about it and I've said everything about it.
Yeah, but then due process.
You know what it means when you report about it?
Tell me.
Do you guys know what it means?
No.
Why do you think people don't go and report about it?
I honestly don't.
Because you get an IO, the IO is supposed to investigate, they tell you we want to see, so they try to see, okay, so where did we go wrong in sending the threat?
So they look for the holes that...
Let me tell you something. I have accepted that when I entered politics, and I was warned by many people, including my husband then, and I was told, I know you want to make change and everything, but I mean, really, is this the only way you can do it? I'm like, I feel like this is where you can have the highest impact. Which is true. Politics is where you can have the highest impact. City, when you go to parliament and actually do your job as a parliamentarian, you can save lives more than the United Nations. Literally. Sometimes I would sit in a committee. I was in the committee of delegated legislation, where regulations are made. Regulations about how we live life, how we operate in this country. You know, regulations that are anchored in law. And just as a committee, with a strike of the pen, you can change lives. You can say this regulation is bullshit, it's killing people, we are not going to accept it, and you change lives like that. Parliament is so powerful to the extent that you don't need demonstrations. You see these demonstrations, we go out demonstrating.
Yeah.
You don't need them. If parliamentarians would just do their jobs,
yes,
you will stop not only the executive. Right now, you have seen the circus that's happening with the National Police Service and the IG in terms of recruitment of police and blah, blah, blah. They came before us in the Labour Committee, and there was a question of who really should get the budget of recruitment. You understand? And the commission was there saying that they are the budget holders, so they are the ones who should do the recruitment. Just a decision like that from Parliament to guide who does the recruitment, change it, it saves lives. Because you can see that maybe the commission, once they do recruitment like this, you value the pros and the cons. You look at what the IG wants to do. You can actually guide a whole country in terms of the institutions that are there. I used to bring inquiries to Senate, which I have not talked much about, that would literally put people in prison. You know, we had the unclaimed financial assets where money of people who've died is being eaten left, right, and center
by UFAA.
Yeah. The moment I brought that inquiry, I was told, by the way, you are going to die. They will kill you. Because the amount of money that is being looted by that institution, and you can change it by just saying, we need to have an open inquiry. We need to see what's happening. Bring your books. We have to look into them. And when you find something wrong, you don't even need to, you just need to highlight, this is what is happening. This person has to be held culpable. Half the work that is needed to be done by DCI can be done in Parliament.
Mwesh, then I'm inclined to ask you this question, because I'm certain by the time UDA got to a point where they wanted to nominate you, and they actually nominated you, and you got into Senate, you must have had these conversations with them, like, this is what I hope to achieve when I become the senator.
Yeah, and it's not a mistake that I was nominated.
You articulated these particular points, and they were
By the way, Ruto is not stupid. He doesn't make mistakes. Anyone you see there has a purpose. And anyone you see nominated, elected, or placed in a position of anything, Ruto has seen their potential and he knows their purpose. And I'm 150% sure he knew my purpose is that I will blow the whistle in whatever is happening in Parliament, even before I knew it.
Then at what point then did you disagree with your party?
You see, you have to separate the party from the individuals who illegally removed me. Yeah. Because you see me going back to say Ruto knew why he put me there. It's the same Ruto who went and said, by the way, Parliament is corrupt. I had already said it. He probably already knew that if he put me there, I would be able to see the things that are happening and say it. Because my character has not changed.
Yeah.
I haven't changed. I have grown, but I have not changed.
You are the same person who was fighting for UDA.
Yes.
Did you ever anticipate that you would have the sort of headwinds that are heading in your direction every other day when you were fighting for this particular political party?
I knew, and I saw some instances where I was like, okay, but every bride has their flaws. At one point you have to marry. At one point you have to say this, wacha tu mimi nikae na huyu ndio namjua. So yeah, I did anticipate that ahead I would have problems with certain people, but I didn't anticipate that the party leader would allow them to run the affairs the way they've run them.
What makes you think the party leader allows them?
He allowed them. In fact, before certain things happened, like a gazettement of your seat being vacant in the Senate, the party leader allowed it. He has to allow it. He's the party leader. He owns the party.
There's a reason why I'm asking this. There's always a discussion about the powers that a president has. I am of a contrary opinion that those powers are sometimes hyped. And I'm going to explain.
That's true.
Oh, it is true.
That's true. That's true. Some things happen, and before he even knows they've happened.
When we talk about power,
that is true.
When we talk about power, are we talking about the powers that he's been given by the Constitution, or are we talking about the power that he has because he is the main guy?
No, the power that I'm speaking of, there's this thinking that Kenyans have. There's this thinking that Kenyans have that the president is all-powerful, all-knowing, and that he can do whatever he wants. And I'm saying I am of a completely different opinion.
You are definitely right, City. The president is definitely powerful. The president can stop a lot of things from happening. But the president can also be put in a place where he can't do anything. For instance, for me, when I say he allowed, I know he did. I know that the minions, the Mutuas and these two busy bodies running this, I call them boys, State House boys. I know that there are things that they would do, that they have the audacity to do, but they also know that there's a line. And when there's a line, you go and seek for permission. You go and ask, Your Excellency, tumefika mahali tunataka kumtoa to gazette. And I know he allowed. I know it.
Politics has what we call horse trading. So when you say he allowed, my brain tells me there was horse trading.
For sure.
What were they trading?
For sure. First of all, you have the majority leader, Aaron Cheriot. You have the speaker. You have the clerk of the Senate. You have Alfred Mutua. God knows how many other enemies were whistleblown when I talked about sex for work. I'm just talking about the ones that I could pick out. God knows how many people I've stepped on just silently who are not coming out. And for sure, it was not 2 or 3 people. It was a group of men who went to him and said, this woman is unbecoming and we can't deal with it. And we know you like her, and we know that she runs the affairs she runs for you in terms of, trying to push the women charter and whatever, but we are done. And I know that he traded that horse. But you know, CT, what I also know? I know that he didn't anticipate what's going to happen. Because I know he thought it would go away. It will go away. It's a small matter. I mean, who the hell is Uruba? I know he, you know what he did? He did exactly, he took the situation and dealt with it with how he dealt with the Rigathi Gachagua situation. He underestimated him.
The Rigathi Gachagua case hasn't gone away, has it?
It's not even about the case.
And it's not going
They
away
said we are
anytime
going
soon.
to forget about him in 2 weeks.
That's why
Yeah?
when I say case, I mean everything that has to do with his impeachment. It hasn't gone away.
Underestimated. Can I tell you something that I have come to learn? Don't ask me how. There were so many times that the people around Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to impeach Ruto. And there were so many times they came up with a solid plan to say, listen, by Friday, this guy will be gone. And there were so many instances where those plans made sense because, like, literally this guy has become such a nuisance, as you would put it. And he's now just out on a campaign trail with this Tanga thing. But Uhuru Kenyatta was smarter. Because he weighed the options. This is my last term. Do I want to be bogged down with a legacy of having impeached the first deputy president? Will everything of mine be watered down to I fought with my deputy president and he went away? And do I really give a damn about why he's running around the country talking about Tanga? I'm on my last term. For all I care, he might as well go and campaign. I don't really give a damn about that. And he weighed, as a normal person in office would weigh the pros, the cons. Listen to the people who want him out. Listen to the people who want to forget about the situation. Think about your legacy. Think about the distraction it might cause. And he thought about it and he was like, let me tell you something. Leave the man alone. After all, I'm on my last term. I need a legacy. I need to be remembered for something. I'm not going to end it at this, you know.
But here, the president is on his first term. Now, President Ruto.
Number one, he's on his first term. Number two, Uhuru Kenyatta didn't have minions around him. He had people around him. But he didn't have what I call State House boys.
Gloria,
I'm telling you.
There is no president in the history of this country that has not had minions. None.
Okay, let me put clarity. I'm not trying to say he didn't have people around him or distractors or whatever. The number of sane people, thoughtful people, mature people, older people around Uhuru Kenyatta were more than the minions. Their voice was heard more than the minions. There was some level of, okay, when we are done with listening to this, you will also listen to this. And then we'll go sit down and reflect.
I feel like what Senator here is saying is that they were wiser.
Not necessarily. They were not wiser.
I'm glad she's given that disclaimer because that's where I was going.
They were not wiser. It is, you know how they tell you?
It is the president who was wiser then.
You know, you remember when you were in primary school, the people you hung around? Then when you're in high school, the people you hung around? University, your first job, then you got married. You see how things change? Especially when you get married, then the people around you become elders or whatever. I feel that with Uhuru Kenyatta, the older people, I don't want to say wiser, the people who knew the repercussions of what would happen if they were to impeach Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta listened. I mean, maybe he didn't listen, maybe he was also very busy doing his own other thing. Whatever happened is he did not take the path that William Ruto has taken. And there was a reason. It's not because he could not impeach Ruto. It's really, honestly, that there was an actual reason. And now we have been shown that the reason is, if anything, the person that you would have left to do his thing and run his show and, you know, be in office as should have been because he deserved it, because he worked for it, because he helped you in your campaign, could have remained just that person for 5 years. And who knows where Rigathi would have been in 2026, what he could have vied for. But you made him. You impeaching him has made him the official opposition. I don't think Raila is happy with that. You think Raila is happy with that?
You know, the thing that I find interesting with the politics, especially regarding the optics of politics, they never tell you the full story.
Exactly.
You see, who can really tell what the relationship between Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto was? In all honesty, who can?
Only the two of
Only
them.
they can tell us.
Yes.
And still, it will still boil down to your word against your word.
And if it is a problem, who really knows what the problem was?
Again, his word against his word.
Yes.
And none of them have ever come out to tell us.
But you see, that is where now they differ with Gachagua.
But you see also, that also explains when Uhuru Kenyatta recently went to State House, we were expecting to see cold shoulders. Did you see that?
No.
Boys code. Boys. Friends. Bro code. It's the same thing even now. City, if I tell you, I've never argued with my president. We have never gotten into an argument. Severally before, he has called me and told me, bring that post down. Delete that WhatsApp message you have put in the group. Severally, he has actually told me, wachana na hiyo maneno. With all these matters, including with the fake labor, whatever job scandal, he has never. We have never argued. He has never told me anything. He has never, and he has not even outed. Have you heard the president talk about me in public?
No.
Has he come out and
president,
said, kuna watu tulipatia kazi wakashindwa kufanya kazi? Because that's something he would say politically.
The president always alludes to things, even when he and his president, his boss, had differed. There was no frontal or direct attack that you could say this man has gone and attacked. Even the political opponents that he had, he would allude. He seems to have understood that even when you differ with someone, at least it appears you've differed fundamentally, there are things you don't do. Why am I making this statement? You see, when we discuss the differences that people have, which we're now discussing, you clearly are now a fully fledged card-carrying politician. There's no question about it. Yeah,
when I kept on saying I'm not a politician,
yes, there's no trisex, there's no. Fully fledged. The circumstances you find yourself in could be argued. That's what's making you say what you say. And that if circumstances changed, you would speak differently.
My circumstances have changed.
How?
I lost my job. People say, there goes your 1 million payroll thing.
Yeah.
The day when the policemen came to arrest me at the Senate, the next day I should have been spewing all sorts of things, right? But I know, this is my thing. And this is why people don't like me in politics. Because I know there are things you will not get me to do. When we were impeaching Rigiji, nobody went to talk to Rigiji. To me, it was so strange that only the Wamunyoro function, like the Kirinyaga senator, the people who are already associated with him at that time, those are the people who are talking to him. And I was looking at my colleagues, I'm like, you guys, come on, bana. Rigiji, who used to call us and tell us, munataka committee gani, that's the guy we are not talking to right now. I was like, you guys are crazy. I walked up to him and I said hi to him in chambers in the full glare of all the cameras and everyone. I got a lot of shit about that. But I can tell you, for me, it was like, this is politics, guys.
You got a lot of bollocking as a result.
Yeah, but
of
for me, it's like that's so weird that today I'm sitting here, and tomorrow, because we've been told you are enemy number one, we don't talk to you. To me, I can't switch off.
The thing that I'm trying to say here is this: optics here. Whatever the problem was, are we saying that there was absolutely no reason why that man should have been impeached?
Yes. Yes. In my opinion, William Ruto did worse as a deputy. He never got impeached. And when I mean worse, I'm not talking about worse in terms of grounds for impeachment, because what was presented to us of the 11 counts, and I've said this before again and again, I said it in chambers on that day, they couldn't substantiate 10 counts out of 11. So you bring 11 counts and 10 are a fallacy. And then the only one you can substantiate is the thing about shareholding, because he did repeat the shareholding narrative a lot of times.
He most certainly did.
And you see, the shareholding narrative, how it is perceived today, how it is perceived tomorrow, can really change.
Actually,
for me, it was anecdotal.
You know what I mean?
Actually,
it is
no.
like you can sell the story that
Senator, it doesn't change. In this country, our politics doesn't change. What that man did by saying that is exactly what you've done with the statements you've made. Rigiji actually stated a reality of our politics. Simple.
Okay, yeah.
And
So-
it's like he was being punished for stating
the reality, and
of
that's
our
what
politics.
I'm saying. So if that is a ground for impeachment, how many times did William Ruto state the reality of our politics and he never got impeached?
Yes. Why did
How
he-
many times did he actually even bring back the 2007-2008 scenarios in his campaigns? He never got impeached. So many times he subjected us to such truths that we would like to forget, and Uhuru Kenyatta was chilling by the pool somewhere drinking whiskey, probably, I don't know, I'm guessing, and he never impeached him. So why would you impeach Rigathi Gachagua for, as you said, stating the facts of our politics as it is?
Uhuru Kenyatta is not William Ruto. Let's start there. And William Ruto is not Rigiji. This particular parliament and the ecosystem that we are speaking about now is not the same as the time when Uhuru Kenyatta was president.
Yeah.
The dynamics were completely
But then
different.
for me, actually what I should have asked, that deputy president did this. This deputy president did the same. Why is it that this deputy president is being, and now you have answered it, it's because the people in office, the bosses, come from a different cloth. And that I agree with. So what I'm saying is, in some instances, being a young politician, and this cuts across even to myself, you think you are doing the right thing, and you wonder why your predecessors didn't do the things that you're doing, which apparently are supposed to be as right. And then when you do them, and then you realize, oh, that's why they didn't do them. So that's what I'm trying to say. There's a lot to learn, even for myself.
Yeah.
And that statement even applies to me. Like, so many nominated senators went through what I have been going through.
Yeah.
Or even didn't reach half of it, but like they felt they wanted to talk about this. But why didn't they do it? Of course, because they knew that, you'd lose your job and everything. But the difference is that I feel that God sent me there because God knew that I didn't go there for a salary. And so God knew, like, all these people who've been coming, the barrier is the salary. We probably need to get someone who's not going there for a salary, so that they can be able to say these things the way they are. Because if I didn't speak of the things that I've been speaking about, people didn't even know how parliament operates. Now people know how parliament operates. And now that you know how parliament operates, people will say, and so what? So have you changed the world? Yeah, I have. Yes. In fact, so much so that the people who are hoping to be nominated already know being nominated is not a springboard to be elected. It is actually the thing that nips you off the election path. So, and I feel like that is a big thing, because if we are being sincere and intentional about gender parity and women in politics, let's also talk about the sincere fact that it's a lot of sex for work. And let's talk about it, and let's say, okay, are we okay? We are cool with this. We are cool with the sex for work in women in politics.
And I thought it's all about the money.
It is about the money, but there are people who sincerely, there are a lot of young people who sincerely, the money, everyone wants a job that pays. But there are people who are pushed and are determined, and they are passionate about their job, their actual job. There are people, even when I was in Senate and when I have been in chambers, there are people who come to chambers, they put their card and they literally switch on their phones and they watch Netflix. Still not passionate about debates. There are people who've never even stood and said point of order, because they don't give a damn about the discussions that are going on the floor of the house. So, and I feel like the more Kenyans understand that, the more Kenyans will be like, wewe hapana, wewe tunajua ni mshahara. So wewe hatutakuweka hapo. So you might say a lot of things about me, but I feel like in my plight of being a change maker, a lot of changes have already happened.
I want us to take a short break. We get into a bit of news. Then when we return, here we're talking about redefining leadership, and if women are bold enough. And clearly I find from the conversation that you're quite the bold woman that we think you are. So when we return, the conversation obviously will pick up from how difficult or easy it is for women parliamentarians.
And then are we also going to talk about all that's happening in the political space, the Jubilee thing, the PLP thing?
Yeah, that's definitely up for discussion. Jubilee having the
and
NDC today.
all the violence that's happening in Gusii with Raila Odinga in Gusii doing the ODM at 20.
Have no fear, we'll get there.
We have an entire 60 plus minutes.
Thank you
for that and much more.
Yeah, because I have a lot of things to tell you about Gusii.
Karibu tena sana. All right, so folks, here's the news with Winnie Maganga.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. 2 schools and dozens of homes were destroyed Thursday evening following heavy rains accompanied by strong winds in Muhoroni sub-county in Kisumu County. Ngenyi Primary School suffered a huge blow as the roofs of 7 classrooms were blown off by the strong winds. Sospita Ngere, the Muhoroni constituency manager, revealed that close to 100 homes in Wongwe, Mibasi, Mikiria, and Chemelil were also affected. Dementia itself does not directly cause death, but it significantly increases the risk to contracting other illnesses that can be fatal, including pneumonia, diabetes, and infections. Elizabeth Mutunga, founder and CEO of the Alzheimer's and Dementia Organization Kenya, explained that as the brain deteriorates, other body systems fail to function properly, making patients more skeptical to life-threatening conditions. Dementia is a condition characterized by progressive or persistent loss of intellectual functioning, especially with impairment of memory and abstract thinking.
You don't die from dementia, you die from other opportunistic diseases like pneumonia or maybe a bed sore or any other, or even diabetes when the sugars go very low or very high. So, but it will contribute because the brain in layman's language is dying, so the other systems in the body are also not working as they should, and so it will fasten or for lack of a better word, it will catalyze other opportunistic diseases.
Turkana MPs have raised concern over rising insecurity in Aro sub-county, blaming bandits from neighboring county for spate of attacks. Led by Turkana South MP John Ariko, the lawmaker said at least 7 incidents have been reported in September alone, despite the presence of multi-agency security team in the region. The outcry follows a fresh attack on Wednesday, September 24th, in Kainuk, where an officer of the National Police Reservists and a young adult were killed by bandits from neighboring Pokot community.
Just yesterday, that was on September 24th, tragedy struck again Kainuk, where an NPR officer, Elipan Pachu, and a young adult, Isaac Ilikwel, were killed by Pokot's bandits. Their deaths are a painful reminder of the cause of inaction. Shockingly, in response to these raids, the multi-agency team has turned on our people. Operations led by KDF have brutalized innocent victims, inflicting bruises and internal injuries, and wrongfully arrested a Kahong NPR seeking ammunition replenishment after the September 3rd raid.
2 Mogadishu City Club supporters who were caught on video desecrating the Kenya national flag during last weekend's CAF Champions League clash at Nyayo Stadium have been arrested. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations confirmed that 17-year-old Ibrahim Haidar Yusuf and 14-year-old Muhyiddin Hamed Abubakar have been processed pending further police action. The 2 were filmed on September 20th, 2025, mishandling and mocking the Kenyan flag during the match between Kenya Police FC and Mogadishu City FC, which ended 3-1 in favor of the hosts. Clashes between drug gangs on Thursday claimed at least 17 lives in the second deadly riot in an Ecuadorian prison in days, with rampaging inmates beheading and maiming rivals, officials in the country said. The fighting in the troubled coastal city of Esmeraldas near the Colombian border added to a total of 500 inmates massacred in Ecuador since 2021. Images shared on social media and verified by AFP show dead men sprawled on the ground with bare, blood-stained torsos. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast, your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Welcome back. This is Radio Generation. The time right now is 6 minutes past 9 o'clock. In studio, we are with nominated Senator Honorable Gloria Oroba. The conversation is around basically women in politics. Tuache story mingi. It's about women in politics. And Senator, you've given us quite the shocker here. But the first question I wanted to start this hour is just how hard or how difficult or easy is it for female parliamentarians?
To do what? Depends on to do
just
what.
to do their job. Because I feel like from the conversation, whether nominated or elected, it's like, and I could be wrong on this, so correct me.
Yeah.
For them, once they get there, everything they stood for, everything is actually put to the test.
You really have to be, and that's why there's a notion that if you go into politics and you're a woman, you have to be cantankerous, you have to be rogue, you have to be. You actually don't have to be, but the environment makes you to be that person. And it's worse on nominated, because nominated you're seen as second class, because it is assumed you are given.
You didn't deserve it.
Not even deserve, it's more like, si tumia pesa ya campaign alafu nyi mmekuja mkapewa. But what a lot of people don't understand is before some of us are nominated, we actually were in campaign. We actually spent probably more than some of the people who are elected, because we had to prove our point, we had to support the party, I spent a lot of money. Supporting the Kenya Kwanza Women Charter, the party, the by-elections for the party. I spent money. Those who know. And so even that argument for me is like, what are you talking about? I spent my money. But the elected women, I feel, and this is why I want to get elected, I feel it's not even an issue of respect, but there's an issue of, hey, what do you think you can tell me? Me and you, we've been elected same ballot. So there's that level of, I'm an equal player. Yeah.
Okay.
So to some extent, sometimes I think maybe these nominations should be removed, because the nominations are supposed to serve as a springboard. But actually what they do is that they kill political careers. Because by silencing you and making sure you don't have an opinion, making sure they control you, make sure you have to trade a lot of things just to get by your 5 years. If you look at the stats on how many people are nominated and how many people are elected after that period of nomination, in last parliament, only one got elected. Naomi Wako.
Okay.
From all the nominated people.
Yes.
She's the only one who got elected.
Okay. Now, let's get to this conversation about...
Naomi Wako, that's from Marsabit. Her case is special, isn't it?
All cases for women are special. Actually, I haven't come across a case where a woman that's just normal.
Well, you need to understand who her husband was first.
Oh.
Please educate me.
No, it's not a negative thing. It's
I know, but it has a negative implication.
No, it doesn't. Whenever the reasons why people get elected are as diverse as the people who stand for elections. Right now, if you look at some of these by-elections, there'll be people who will be elected because their fathers had been MPs.
And that's what I mean. For a woman in politics, you need to unlearn. For you, it doesn't look like a negative, but for a woman in politics, it seems like you're saying to them that, yes, we know you worked hard, but we also know that you had a name.
You see,
that helped you. And most of the time, it's not really the case.
There are communities in which it is even more significant because they do not have a history.
Because they do the clan.
And they do not elect women. So when a woman is elected for a position which is not that of the women's rep, or even women, you say it is something. For instance, the neck of the woods where you come from. How many elected women have we had?
We are soon to have one from Mombasa constituency by the name Gloria Oroba. In 22 months.
You do understand the point I was trying to make.
We have one elected MCA. Yeah. One.
Yes, one. One. Let's talk
As
about...
a matter of fact, the joke that the majority leader for Senate was telling people in a platform is that, whatever. She thinks she's being so dramatic and so independent because she's going to get elected. Let's see. He was basically like, all the best with your election in Gusii County as a woman. Like basically saying you're going nowhere. But I was like, all the best, Aaron Cheriot, with your re-election in Kericho as a senator.
Loaded statement. Let me ask the question about politics and Gusii politics. All right? You mentioned just as a by the way, you went to the airport to meet your cousin.
Yes. It offended a lot of people.
Why did it offend? Can't people meet their cousins at the airport?
Is the question that we were going to have a conversation at the High Court, and then the tribunal said we can't even get there. This whole thing has been illegal. Because how do you call that being disloyal? How do you call that being disloyal? At the peak of the Gen Z demonstrations, where a government should show solidarity, where a government should show that they are in control and they in fact meant well for the people as a government, and they in fact are going to fix the problems that were happening. At the peak of that, the party leader of United Democratic Alliance went and got in bed with the party leader of ODM. At that point, he should have been expelled from the party.
At that point?
At that point.
What?
And he should have been expelled from the party, and at that point he should have ceased being the president.
But Senator, is there no provision for politicians to just have a conversation?
There is. That is why you cannot expel Gloria Oroba from picking the cousin from the airport.
Yeah, no, but I'm now getting to this question of Raila and President Ruto forming a broad-based government. That's okay, right? For the benefit of the country.
And then okay, if that's okay, then ODM should cede ground from being the official minority in both houses.
No, that I
they should
agree with
cede
you.
ground.
Yeah.
In fact, at the point where they've said we are one, we are together, we are doing joint parliamentary group meetings, what the hell are you doing being the official minority? In fact, at that point, Jubilee should have been made, or whichever other function that's on the other side should have been made the official minority in both houses.
That I
you
agree.
can't have your cake and eat it. And by the way, thanks to that, because nature abhors vacancies, thanks to that, DCP has become the official opposition. Thanks to that, because now the opposition seat is vacant.
Yeah.
Was vacant.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are other politicians in the opposition. We have Martha Karua, we have Kalonzo
But we were
Musyoka.
talking about political parties. Martha Karua doesn't have one member of parliament. So I'm talking about members of parliament. You know, if you are going to go and say us and the president and UDA we are one, that's fine. Then also come back and tell the speaker we have ceased from being the minority party. And because we have gone to join UDA, we have gone to become the majority party, and now we are relinquishing the minority party, so that whichever other party that has members of parliament in both houses could then now say, okay, now we are the official.
But also, DCP doesn't have members of parliament.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not
so,
yet.
but we have other parties. There's
Yeah.
Wiper, there's DAP, we have a myriad of
There are other parties right now, including KANU. KANU has members of parliament.
KANU, of course.
KANU has, I don't know why people don't forget about KANU. KANU has members of parliament in currently sitting.
Well, there are those who argue that KANU has a president of Kenya. The previous president of Kenya was also KANU.
Even the leader of opposition.
No, but I'm talking
KANU,
about
the member of the broad-based government, KANU.
No, I'm talking about back to the scenario we have in parliament. At the point when ODM relinquishes its seats as a minority, you have to look at the remaining members of parliament and which parties they come from, and then pick a minority from there.
Gloria, which rule book are you reading from?
The standing orders.
These standing orders stipulate the very things you're saying. So essentially the standing orders make it illegal for this handshake to have taken place.
Absolutely. That's why.
So it also makes illegal the handshake between Raila and Uhuru to have taken place.
But the handshake between Raila and Uhuru never impacted the parliament. It is the handshake of ODM. It is the handshake of ODM and UDA that has impeached a sitting deputy president.
Yes, but we didn't have. Look, Gloria,
You know what I'm trying to say?
We did not
the
have.
implications.
We did not have. So this whole case is based on what implications?
It's based on the activities that follow once you shake hands. You know, you can shake hands, and then when they come back to the floor of the house, they continue to play their role as the minority, as
But
the opposition.
exactly.
But then
Because-
they shake hands, and then they come back to the floor of the house, essentially where you could have been speaking for the people as the opposition, as the minority, you have now joined the majority. Meaning, and that is why you see Gen Z saying Parliament has been compromised. Meaning, at the situation where you have, for instance, a finance bill being fronted, and you have 300 and something members of Parliament and 250 plus members of Parliament have been whipped to support the finance bill, you no longer have a house. There's no debate. There's no. In fact, the only debates that will be happening is that there will be a proposer of the bill, a seconder of the bill, and 250 plus members supporting the bill.
You are aware that you are now discussing the reality of our politics, aren't you?
Yes. Yes.
And what is wrong with it exactly?
What is wrong with it is that you do not have a space for divergent opinions and views.
Oh, but you do. In fact, the very handshake is a demonstration of the very thing you're saying we don't have.
How?
We actually have it. It's called choice. Someone deciding.
That's fine.
What I'm concerned about is if we are abrogating protocols, we are breaking the law. If we are going against the constitution. You see, the practice of our politics from the time President Uhuru became president and the watering down of sections of our constitution that made it possible for a check and balance to be real and to be practiced. The moment those things were watered down, what we've seen is an escalation of the watering down of processes and ignoring completely
a breakdown of institutions and a breakdown of for me, I see it as a breakdown of institutions, because once I disarm an institution and the mandate it has been given, it's no longer an institution. Opposition is an institution. Political parties are institutions. That's why we even fund political parties. We give money from the exchequer to political parties. When you break down those institutions, they cease from performing their intended mandate, constitutionally speaking.
Let's discuss this thing realistically. What exactly was being implied by the barbs that were directed towards you when you went to meet your cousin at the airport?
It was being implied that anyone who dares to even breathe or think about an alternative president in 2027, even the thought of it, why are you entertaining the thought, must be dealt with ruthlessly.
You know, there was a time in this country.
Think, you know the way you can think, like you have not even voiced
by
it.
the way, that thinking makes perfect sense, because Charles Njonjo was the Attorney General during Jomo Kenyatta's time. When people started speculating about the possibility of the president's death, we learned then that even to think and to imagine,
treasonous.
Yes, exactly.
But that is in law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, even to think about it?
That's in law.
Yeah, but before you execute treason, you have to think about it.
But that is actually written in law. So you are breaking a law. But to think about the possibility of a different president, which law have you broken?
Okay.
You see,
because for me, I'm also of the idea to think about the death of a president, you should be jailed. Because everything starts by thought. You think about it.
That's the seed.
That's the seed. You think about it, you start scheming about it, you recruit
actualize
people,
it.
you actualize it. Even my removal was a thought by someone. And then it was executed. So I'm of the opinion, as long as it is not written in law that it is, because thinking about the death of a president is written in law that it is illegal.
Does your cousin, cousins, not uncle?
Cousin, not uncle.
Okay. Does your cousin genuinely pose a threat?
For me, this is the funny thing. When I went to pick him at the airport, for me, it was not anything political. No, it wasn't.
Really?
It was welcoming a cousin home.
Look.
No, I mean, think
lady
about what you want
is
to
a
think about.
card-carrying politician, astute, understands politics beautifully. The moves she makes are as calculated as the thought that was calculated in removing her.
Okay.
Her intelligence is not average. She doesn't do things because somehow the wind moved in the direction of things she should do.
They are well thought.
She thinks through the things she does, even the ramifications she understands. It's not that if there's someone who understands the ramifications of what she does, it is this lady who I'm pointing it out to.
Answer City's question then.
Are we just going to let City go away with that? I am politically immature. People have said
he has complimented
irrational.
you.
I know, but I'm just trying to let him know that people have said I'm irrational. People say I move too quick.
The vast majority
I'm
of the people who
stupid.
said this are probably men, isn't it?
That is true.
And they're probably also parliamentarians.
And politicians.
Now, the unfortunate thing is that for most politicians, whatever intellect they have are abandoned at the doorsteps of parliament, because I never cease to marvel at the things politicians do. I never do, because some of them are people I know and I wonder what happened to this person.
So you don't think I'm just a political amateur who's just rushing into things and got excited?
You are not a bimbo.
A movement.
You are not some chick who was given this job and just sort of like talks when
So City, let me ask you, so
No.
what do you think my strategy was when I went to meet to pick up my cousin from the airport?
I don't think. That's why I'm asking you. If I thought, I would have told you what I thought.
Honestly, I went to pick up my cousin. I thought it was, and I still think it was exciting to, for me personally, it was exciting to see that he is having ambitions beyond the World Bank job and being a technocrat. And as a cousin, I thought this is going to be interesting. This guy is going to come to our space now. And it was, for me, on that level, it was exciting. And I was like, I'm going to go and hear what he has to say.
And you think the step he took was a good one? Because right now it is being said he has abandoned a home-based political party and is now quoting and trying to sort of like run around a certain bed with Jubilee.
That question poses, those are like 4 questions in one.
I ask such questions from time to time.
Everyone has, there are things that drive you and then there are realities. For instance, like you said, people think I want to make a political statement by picking up my cousin from the airport.
They do.
And that's theirs because they don't know behind the scenes, they don't know family dynamics, they don't know a lot of things. So it's okay for them to think that way. But you have to sit down with me for you to understand where I have done certain things, where I'm doing certain things. And I also feel like you have to sit down with Matiang'i to understand why he's doing certain things. And I also am of the opinion that definitely a homegrown political party has its pros, because all the nonsense that we are seeing in Gusii, and I call it nonsense because really it is nonsense.
What is? Please elaborate on this nonsense.
For some very strange reason,
worth listening to.
For some very strange reason, the people around our president William Ruto have told him that hatutaachilia Gusii. We will work day and night. We will camp. We will pour money, and we will make sure that Gusii is ours. From a strategy point of view, I think that's a very stupid strategy because while you are zero grazing on Gusii, a lot more is happening where you could have gained ground. But okay, so for some reason, that is what the focus is on. So what is happening is that we have all these fronts in terms of empowerment programs that are being carried out, but really it is bribery. There is a lot of bribery of what you would perceive as voters, trying to persuade them that it doesn't matter if you are homegrown local politician by the name of Fred Matiang'i is vying for president, he doesn't have this money. As we have this money, so we want you to remember us and stay with us, and don't think we are going to run out of this money. We are going to come every week and give you this money until 2027 when you have to vote. So essentially what's happening is that two things. First of all, there is not one point where you will have an empowerment program where you will invite everyone and give everyone money. So for instance, if if I live, for instance, in a village called Sameta Mukwerero, or let's give it an easy name, a village called X. That X village, let's say, even has 7,000 people. At any given point when I do an empowerment, I'm not going to get all 7,000 people. That's why you have mobilizers. So you'll probably get 2,000 people. What you forget is that out of the 2,000 people who you are now bribing with 1,000 shillings for every sitting, there is a remaining 5,000 people who have not been bribed. So when these people go home, there will always be animosity. Yeah? Nyinyi wale wakupewa ile pesa ya nini, nyinyi ndio mnakula pesa yetu ya tax. So they will always, in fact what you're doing, if William Ruto started at 6% in Gusii before Matiang'i came, he's now at -6. Because now the 5,000 people who have not been bribed in this particular day will be like, okay, we have marked you, we have done. It creates animosity within the village. So you start having the infights. Now with time it becomes like you city will go because you're among the 2,000 that are being bribed, but when you come back home with your 1,000, you will give each of us 100 shillings. So the exercise becomes null and void, because I will go get 1,000, I'll come back home, I'll be beaten, they will split it, divide by 25, everyone will get 30 shillings or whatever. This whole thing is useless. And then there will be animosity. Mbona we uliitwa na mimi ndio firstborn na wakaita thirdborn?
But how
you understand?
How does
they don't think about those dynamics. So there's a lot of fighting within the villages about the bribe that is being given.
And this is a reality.
I'm giving you straight fresh off the ground. Now, aside from that, is that now there is a realization that, so if Matiang'i was not vying, this money would have gone where? Okay, so Matiang'i is the reason why we are getting this money. Very good. In fact, I'm going to vote for Matiang'i. Because if Matiang'i never put out his head saying that I'm thinking of presidency, you and all this money would probably be in Luo Nyanza. So you only value us because Matiang'i is vying. So I'm going to take your money and I'm going to vote for Matiang'i. Now the difference is, those boys in Gusii, there are some boys in Gusii there by the names of Osoro, Silvanus Osoro, the whip of the National Assembly, Japheth Nyakundi, the treasurer of United Democratic Alliance. Actually, those are the two main boys that I want to deal with today. They have become so emboldened in their bribery and their abuses to the people that they are now using goons. So that if one person stands and says one term, yesterday you saw arrows were being thrown. Now they're using bow and arrow.
Crude
to
weapons.
shut down. Because police officers have also realized, as much as we would like to assist you in this thing, there's a lot of eyes on us in uniform. So because we can't assist you outrightly, what we are going to do is we are going to protect the goons. So the goons,
let them do the dirty work.
Yeah. So obviously now, if you bring goons to deal with villagers, the villagers themselves are goons, and they will become goons, because you can't come to my house and bring me goons to fight me and expect me to sit down and put my head down and fight back. So there's a lot of violence. Another thing you will see is that there's show of might. Osoro is walking around with his gun. Yesterday Nyakundi is walking around trying to take the bodyguard's gun. It even fell. There's a whole incident. When you're dealing with boys, you're not dealing with mature people. You're dealing with boys. So it's just a matter of time before an incident, a huge incident occurs and someone loses their life, because there's a lot of bravado. Sisi ndio tuko na pesa. Osoro is on record after he has gathered people and people are telling him, we need to go back to the farm to work. Hurry up with your speech, give us the money, let's go back. Because that's what the guys were telling him.
You are not there for the speech.
And you know, they are literally telling him, we are appreciating the convening because it is a form of work. You are going to pay us. But mvua iko karibu kunyesha, we need to go before the rain comes down. There are things we have left in the farm. And Osoro is on record telling them, sit down. Where do you need to go? Which other meeting will give you the money I'm giving you? I am the one with the money. Sit down. You will listen to me because I'm the one with the money.
Was Osoro nominated or elected?
He's a whip. He's elected.
Just asking.
He's elected.
How does ODM fit into this whole picture?
Now, thank you. Now you're guiding me. Otherwise, sometimes I can digress. How does ODM come in? Before Matiang'i came into the picture, we were all bungled as Nyanza. We used to be called Watu wa Nyanza. Then we are put there Migori, Luo Nyanza, Gusii, Gusii, Nyamira, Watu wa Nyanza. And by being put Watu wa Nyanza, often the Gusiis, because we are a minority, would just disappear as an AOB. You'd even be saying, wanasema si tumepea Nyanza, si Mbadi yako na kazi na si tumepea Nyanza. And you're like, no, but us guys, we are Gusiis. So they would always, we were like the small brother in the Nyanza. Yeah, and the other smaller brother than us was Migori. Now,
no, the other smaller brother,
Kuria.
Kuria.
Sorry, Kuria. Come again. Sorry, Kuria. Now, what happened is, in comes Matiangi. What does Matiangi do? Matiangi says, mi nawaomba niende nikaitishe kura. So because ametuomba tuende tukaitishe kura, Kisii, we are excited because one of our own is about to go out there and make things happen.
And
Yeah.
Gwesa.
Yeah. So, of course, all of Kisii, they run away from the umbrella of Nyanza and they become Gusii region. What does that do to ODM? ODM has been walking around here with the card of Nyanza. We control Nyanza. Now,
Wakajua hawajui.
essentially, if you control, that is 6 plus 2, 8, 9, 10 counties, 2 are gone. And not 2 very small ones, 2 850,000 plus are gone. Voters.
We're talking about voters here now.
Yeah. So, where does that leave Baba? Luo Nyanza. And Luo Nyanza, as it's standing, because of all the confusion, I mean, there are places in Luo Nyanza where people did not win with an ODM ticket.
Okay.
We have independent candidates. It's weird. It started happening last election.
Okay.
So he also knows even
Actually,
there.
it started before the last election.
Yeah.
The first elections that we had, the governor of Migori was elected on a party that was not ODM.
Yeah. So
others were elected. There's one famous person who was elected on an ODM ticket, and previously, after that, has then been elected on an independent ticket.
Independent ticket, yes. Yeah. Shabir, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So PDP got a good number. So the issue of people not, let's put it this way, people understanding that they want to vote for the person they want to vote for,
exactly,
the party.
as about the party.
That reality is
gaining traction.
In Luo Nyanza particularly.
It actually is gaining traction. The moment you see many people being elected on an independent ticket, it's like they've said, look, we are not opposed to the party, but we actually prefer this person.
This person.
Yes.
And now what's happening?
Yeah.
ODM, which has been going around negotiating with the umbrella of Nyanza, realizes they don't have Nyanza anymore. And by the way, William Ruto got a substantial amount of votes from Migori and Kuria. So essentially, even that Nyanza you're walking around, take away a percentage of Migori and Kuria, so you are left with Luo Nyanza.
Migori has a history of always being opposed to whatever else happened
in the
because
main.
At the time when there was NDP or LDP in what is referred to as Luo Nyanza, you had Migori councillors who were Kanu. So that thinking and that happening isn't actually alien.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
continue.
ODM has lost a huge amount of, if you have assets, you can say assets.
Is that a permanent loss or is it as a loss for now?
Well, with politics, you can't say it's permanent, but it is a loss. And you know, as a politician, you can't sit and say, okay, you imeenda. You can also sit and say, you imeenda, wacha tuende tukachukue kwingine, but Raila and ODM wataenda kuchukua wapi? Northeastern? Central? Metropolitan? When you really think about ODM, you know, now it's like these are the cards on the table. You need to scamper for safety and get a few assets here and there. The assets are gone. Central is gone. They can't touch Central, especially ODM.
Yes.
ODM, their zones were also the cosmopolitan, where it's mixed tribes, right? The likes of
Mombasa,
Nairobi, Mombasa. It's going. It's going in the umbrella of one term.
Actually, the in the metropolitan, you cannot compare your neck of the woods with the metropolitan because the demographics of that population hasn't changed, and there's no visible sign. In Gusii land, there's visible signs.
There's visible signs, yes.
And there's narrative to support those signs. Because when you talk to people, they will tell you things like, my friend, you cannot say a word against Matiangi.
But that is true.
Now, when you hear that, and that's a politician telling you, elected telling you, my friend,
you can't.
This is the position that has been taken. Now, if you look at our history and how political leaders are sent to that position of leader, it's not them who vie for the position. It's the people who determine to give it to them.
Yes. So now ODM is feeling that they can't just let go of Gusii.
Or Gusii.
Remember, Gusii is also where they have a deputy party leader in the name of Simba Arati, the governor for Gusii. I am a supporter. Let me not say I am. I have been a supporter of Governor Simba Arati for the longest time. But today I am in studio telling you,
yes,
with the way Simba Arati is moving, he's losing his seat.
Analeta mchezo.
You know why? Because it's not Kisses. We are different. We are special. There are things you will do in other regions that you can get away with. In Gusii, you will not get away with.
Please, this one I want to understand. Give me a for example.
Before I go to the social things you can do and get away with other places and not our place, let me talk about in the political context. In Gusii, once the region has said, huyu mtu amejitokeza na wamkubali, the same walikubali Nyachai na watu wakasema okay, huyo ndo ameenda. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a minister. It doesn't matter if you are a governor. As long as you are going against that person that the people have said, hapa tunaona hata kama tutafika mbali sana, hapa ndio vitu zetu zitaangaliwa, you are done. Now, Simba is conflicted because he's a deputy party leader of ODM. ODM is in bed with William Ruto and UDA. Gusii has already said, us, we are going where Matiang'i for now is going. But not only have they said where Matiang'i is going, they are also saying we are going one term.
Okay.
Gusii are saying two things. They are saying, number one, Matiang'i. Number two, one term.
What if
now Simba Arati is coming to tell them, nimesikia kenye mnasema, lakini for now unajua lazima tufanye kazi na William Ruto, and na unajua ule mtu ambaye atasema ule atakuwa president ni Raila. Those things Gusii don't want to hear because they are saying we bado unaleta vitu za Raila hapa na tumekuambia ni vitu sisi tunaongea Matiang'i.
So
now they start looking at him as a traitor.
What if Matiang'i decides at one point that okay, he's joining Ruto?
Personally, I personally will lead. I will lead Gusii, me as a woman. The day Matiang'i wakes up and says he's going for a handshake with the
president,
regime, me personally, I will come out. Forget even the day he says. The day myself, I even see signs like mkiona tu ile siku nimetoka kwa mrengo ya Matiang'i,
something is coming.
Mujue iyo mahali is not okay.
So
yani the day you will see Gloria now is not looking like this Gusii story is selling. That day, just know that there's a problem.
But if he actually does that mean that the community then will follow him? The Gusii community.
And that's why I said two things.
Yes.
Number one, for now, they are saying Matiang'i.
Yes. Number two,
Number two, they're saying one term.
And that's why I'm asking.
Now, they're saying Matiang'i, why? Why? He's ours. Ni mtu wetu. We want to see our own also going to play in the national arena.
And that's good.
Number one. But they're also saying one time, why? Matiang'i has come and said, wait a minute, we have a problem in this country.
Okay.
He has acknowledged we have a problem, we have a leadership problem, and the problem is here.
Okay.
The day he will start singing a different tune, that okay, we might have a problem, but we think that, let me tell you,
even
himself,
the people,
even the people will walk out on him.
Watamwambia kwaheri.
And if you want to test the things that I'm telling you are not theory. Number one, Maraga ni wetu. Mbona wakisi wamtaki?
Tujibu hiyo swali. Wewe ni Mkisii.
Not hawamtaki, but they are just like, what are you doing?
As compared to Matiang'i.
It has nothing to do with who is smarter than who. It has everything to do with, in Gusii, there are certain people, once they install you, there's a certain level of group of people, the Samongeris, the elders, the people we respect, all of us, regardless of which political party we come from. When Samongeri stands on the stage, you cannot dare to boo him because he's Samongeri. You understand? Those elders, when the Chris Obure, those people who have been Gusii, tunakuanga na hii kitu ya heshima to the people who have seen the older people. Those people have already made their stand.
Is that really true?
That's true.
Why is it therefore that after Nyachai's bid for the presidency, he was then incorporated into the government, if I remember correctly, at some point. Then when he next stood for a seat, he was actually beaten by what one would refer to as a political nobody.
Well, I can't explain the dynamics then, but it's the same situation I'm trying to tell you now, we have two very respectable people coming from Gusii. Maraga is a very respectable person, but you tend to ask yourself why we see the occurrences that are happening when he goes to Gusii.
Can I suggest something?
But
Yes,
City
go ahead.
also, you know,
So-
I can respect you as an elder, but still disagree with you politically. So just because I respect you and I revere you, if
But it's not just one. I'm not talking about one person has come and told us go this direction. There is a group. There is a
There's a
resounding
council.
group. There's a council of people
All right.
that has told people this is the direction
All
we're
right.
going.
So they are gatekeepers.
It's not gatekeepers.
They are gatekeepers. If you have if you have people who are listened to and who are opinion shapers and people whose opinions matter.
Yes, that's how I would like
they
to
are
put it.
gatekeepers.
Okay, that's how I would like to put it. Can I also say something?
there's something I need to get out of this, because that gatekeeping thing, because if they were proper gatekeepers, don't you think they would have blocked someone like not Matiang'i, what's his name, former CJ from ongemwambia bro weka kando, huyu ndio tunataka.
Let me explain something about.
That's also because they haven't told him. They've just said, they've
I
just
wouldn't say
told
it's
the,
gatekeeping
they've
per
just
se.
No,
told
it is. The moment a caucus determines that the views of certain individuals are what will carry the day, you've bequeathed on that person that particular position of
And I think,
gatekeeper.
But they haven't stopped anyone else.
No.
So for
But
me, it's like
gatekeeping doesn't
gatekeeping
mean
doesn't
you stop.
you. It kind of just tells people these ones are making noise. This is where we are going.
Because a gate is closed and open.
No. You're being literal about this.
Oh, you're being anecdotal.
No, I'm being philosophical. Let me explain.
Okay, 1-1. let me just say, so okay, in summary, what I can tell you is right now the region is saying we are listening to Fred Matiang'i, and I feel very bad for my peers, the likes of because those are my peers. We are sort of age mates, Silvana Sosoro, Japheth Nyakundi, and the flower girls, because they are flower girls who have been forced into that thing. I feel bad for them because
you are insulting these people by calling them flower girls.
but what is a flower girl?
I wouldn't know. Tell me.
A flower girl.
She's been anecdotal now.
I'm not being anecdotal. I'm
she's being literal.
very literal.
She's being literal.
If you have been chosen upon in whatever capacity, whether specially elected or elected, and someone has seen a level of potential in you, if at all that's why they put you in that position, why would they not then allow you to actually participate and give your views as you feel? Because I know those women do not support the empowerment program. I know that. I know it. They have spoken about not supporting. They don't like being in those sessions. City, it is so bad that there's even one of them who, for many of those empowerment programs, every time they're told to do 2 terms, she kept on waving. She was called and told, we have seen you. Do 2. Fanya mbili picha itoke. Because they don't want to be there. They don't want to participate in the charade that is this fake empowerment. And they cannot express their views of them not wanting to be there because they know that they are safeguarding their paycheck. So then is that not a flower girl?
Gloria, Senator Gloria.
That's a flower girl.
Let's talk realistically about our politics, okay?
But until there, are we together?
No, I'm in full agreement with you. Complete. I'm not editing that agreement. It's full, complete. It's
sign and seal.
Quisha, the reality of our politics and these discussions about so-called elders, it has morphed over time. There was a time these elders were probably church leaders, and people who were elected were people who were considered to be standing members of society who were held in high regard.
Yeah.
When there was no money involved.
Yeah.
The moment money became involved, these voices that I'm referring to as gatekeepers and elders also became people who could be bought.
They were up for grabs.
They're up for sale. Okay? Now, I am saying this and I'm leading to something. There's a perception that your cousin has money that you can't count in broad daylight. You need to count it into the night and into the following day. And even then you won't have counted all of it. There's that thinking. Now, if I'm to go with the thought process and the direction I am taking, Maraga is not known to have any money that you can't count within an hour or so. Okay? Would the thinking that your cousin has money play an important role in this?
But that is the same money that we are seeing William Ruto pouring in Gusii, and it's not William Ruto allegedly has even bought the church and the clergy. I've said allegedly very intentionally. What is stopping him from buying the elders in Gusii? So my argument would be, if it is a money thing, it must be the person who has the highest money, the highest offer.
Right.
And between those three people you have mentioned, the person with the highest money and the highest offer remains William Ruto. How come he has not managed to buy the clergy? I mean the elders.
Okay, I am going to respond to your question. And
If that is the
and
theory.
and this is the no, this is a hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking,
yes.
if Matiang'i has bought the elders, how come?
No. He may not have bought them. No. I'm not saying he has bought them. I'm saying he represents the possibility of the purchasing power is
and
a possibility.
and then the argument still remains
Yes.
that in fact his is just a representation of the possibility.
Yes.
But we know for a fact that William Ruto is in Gusii every day. By the way, his agents, that is the Deputy President Kindiki, has been in Gusii 13 times.
13.
In less than a year.
And the people happy.
And he's not presenting a possibility. He's presenting actual money.
But you see,
and still
you actually stated it earlier, and now you've reinforced it. It is Matiang'i who has brought all this.
Yeah.
Because is that money being rejected?
But this is my thing. No, the money is not being rejected. The money is not being rejected. And by the way, I said this to Kenyans. Why would you reject your taxes?
Actually,
you know, in Europe, when you file your taxes, at the end of the year, you have a window where you can claim back your taxes. You can claim it back through receipts and whatever. Wait, let me finish. And in Europe, after the financial year ends, a month or 3 later, you even get tax refunds. Yeah, you are refunded. Unasikia tu show, haya nimerudishiwa 250k. They said you overpaid taxes in the last financial year. For me, when that money comes back to the ground, because we don't have a platform for Mama Mboga and Boda Boda and all these informal traders to get back their taxes, to me, it is a form of tax returns.
All right.
The state is saying you overpaid your taxes last financial year, and Osoro has brought it back to you. So why would I tell people not to take back their taxes?
Mheshimiwa, your cousin at one point did say that Matiang'i needs to bring numbers. Do you feel like right now he has the numbers to bring to the table?
Who said that? Rigathi Gachagua?
Yes.
My other cousin now.
Yeah.
My metamorphic, the cousin. I think everyone needs numbers. Everyone. And I'm not talking just about Matiang'i. Everyone has to. It's the question, what do you bring to the table? And that's why Raila Odinga, you asked me, City, what does this have to do with ODM? Yeah. ODM still understands to go to any table, you must go with something to bring to the table. And that something in politics is numbers.
Okay.
So he has gone back to reclaim Gusii, so that he can continue having his numbers solid.
Okay.
Yeah. And rightfully so. Any politician who does that has a right to do that. That's the game. The only thing that I keep wondering, and this now goes back to the advisors around these people, and I keep wondering if I sat down, if it was me, and maybe that's why it's not me, but if it was me and I'm told, okay, the bases are moving, we have 47 counties. How many tribes? How many regions? Put for me all my assets on the table. Let's see where we have the highest chance in 22 months to reclaim back my numbers. I would not go to Mount Kenya and I would not go to Gusii because the amount of money, resources, and time I will spend to just get 30% at the maximum. If I go, for instance, to Northeastern, the return on investment is high. If I go to, for instance, places that have not really been bombarded by many people, Isiolo, for instance, right? Isiolo is up for grabs to me. I'm an amateur, I could be wrong. If I go to Isiolo, whatever numbers you're looking for, that 30% in Gusii.
Yeah.
Because remember, William Ruto also won an election with 200,000 votes, worth one constituency. So if at all we are saying, okay, we've lost 1 or 3 constituencies, what are you doing in Gusii? Gusii is gone. Gusii, you will spend 15 months doing the same thing and you will get not 10%. So what I would do, but I'll also tell you what he's doing. Ruto is not looking for numbers in Gusii. Whatever he's doing is not for looking for numbers. People don't know this.
He's dividing the region?
Let me tell you, that my party leader is not stupid. He is doing it for public show because he knows. As a presidential candidate, which Matiang'i is, Matiang'i will need to form allies. Other regions have to look at him as the guy who's going to win this seat. For them to look at him as the guy who's going to win the seat, they have to look at him and see he has secured Kisii region. Ruto cannot even walk in Kisii. So for every single time that Kindiki is working in Kisii, Farouk is doing things in Kisii, it doesn't mean that those people, the things they are doing translates to votes, but it becomes very difficult for Matiang'i to go and even convince Gachagua that, by the way, hizo vitu munaona Ruto anafanya, they have no impact. Mimi bado niko na ground yangu. So other people, other players start doubting him. Players who would bring to his basket voters, they start looking and they're like, lakini wewe hata kama tunaona namba zako ziko juu, yani hata home ground yako haujashikilia, bado watu wanarandaranda huko home ground yako, si uwafukuze. You understand? So Ruto is not playing the game for numbers, the one that Raila is playing. Ruto is playing the game for perception, where this guy is so weak, because we have by-elections in Kisii. In Matiang'i's ward, not constituency, ward level, there's a by-election. Do you know who's the second strongest candidate? Some guy there. Do you know which party is supporting and sponsoring him? United Democratic Alliance. It is a message that is being sent to the public and anyone who wants to partner with Matiang'i. That this guy atakwa ward ya Kenya Nsiongo. Imagine sisi tumeweza kuweka candidate. Try and go, where does Raila Odinga come from?
Bondo.
His ward?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
If there's a by-election, try and go and field a candidate. You can't even field a candidate. The candidates themselves will be like, wacha ujinga, ini chama gani unatuletea hapa, wacha mimi nitaenda independent, because he has done the perception thing of you cannot walk here in any capacity. So Ruto is just anafanya ile kitu ya wacha ni kuchafulie CV. Ndio ukienda huko kwa United Opposition ushashuka. And it's working. It's working.
Kuna swali hapa. Someone is asking, what has the senator been up to post Senate life since she withdrew her petition in court last week?
By the way, that withdrawing the petition and whatever, by the way, I didn't withdraw a petition. I won a case. You know what happened? The day when we were waiting for the judgment to come out, a little bird from the Senate told me they're swearing her in. Actually, I was told the night before. They know they are losing the case and they are swearing her in. And one of the lawyers in my team said, first thing in the morning, we have to go and get a court order to stop the swearing in. You understand?
Yeah.
And I thought like, oh, this is a good idea. Yeah, let's stop the swearing in, because you listen to counsel, which is actually, they had a point. So we went to court to get an order to stop the swearing in. And how do I say this without saying it? Let me just say, and we didn't get the order. What we got was a hearing date for weeks later. So we have come to court to tell you, these people are swearing in this person in an hour. You're telling us to come 3.5 weeks later to be heard.
So you've been told.
You understand what I mean? It's like,
you've been told.
Wasn't it like an emergency
it was
application?
And that it was certified urgent. No, it was not. It was certified urgent. We went there telling them, like, if you go and look at the petition that was withdrawn, they are about to swear her in. Once they swear her in, they want to just keep us in court with all these legal proceedings, and we know a judgment is coming out within the hour that's going to stop all of these things. So we went to court. So that particular court we went to felt that there's no urgency, and you can come back 3 or whatever weeks later.
Okay.
So that same day when we were told to come back 3 or whatever weeks later, we withdrew the matter, because what are we coming back 3 weeks later to do when what we are trying to stop is happening in an hour?
So
we
that
withdrew
is
the
what was
matter,
withdrawn.
and it was on the same day. But let me just say this outrightly. The Senate has got a budget for media. And the day when they started running that propaganda that on that day I withdrew the matter, it was like last week or something, was the same day that they were trying to seek a stay order to protect the senator that's there.
Okay.
And they lost again. So the media, and some media, let me not say the media, but some of these media people are still under the payroll. They eat from the Senate. So they were incentivized to run a narrative.
Okay.
So that you could not hear breaking news. Big blow for UDA as they are denied stay orders to protect Senator Akwabubi. That has never been reported.
Okay.
How come no media house has reported that the lady sitting in Senate, the court has actually refused to protect her? Because the court still at this point sees her as an illegal placement.
Okay.
No media has said that, yet it has happened 3 times. 3 times they have gone to court begging, pleading. 3 times the court has said, wait a minute, there are some matters that need to be heard.
Okay.
No breaking news has been. So what they were trying to do, they thought that I also am in the business of paying media, that I would pay media to say that they have lost again to get stay orders. So they preempt and then they ran a false narrative.
She said she wants to go for a woman rep. Which party and why?
Wait, and what else? You asked me another thing. What have I been doing since?
Oh yeah.
I've been living. Before I became a senator, I still was living. I still was.
You had a life.
I had a life, and this is the difference. This is the difference. People are expecting. I'm actually told that the clerk has been waiting to see a lot of things like big blow, as you know. I don't know. I'm kicked out of my home, or, so, you know, depression. You know, spotted in a bar drinking and dying of, I don't know. I mean, he can wait. He's gonna die waiting. That's
The
not gonna
Senate
happen.
is full of drama, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, he will die waiting for that, because if there's, I know my problem. I have a problem of dignity, and you will not take that away from me. And in that sense, it will cut across my social life. That's why you don't see me doing certain things. That's why you will not encounter me in certain areas, because you know they are putting up a front. I'm living my life. This is how I live my life. So it has not changed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I've been living my life. I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. I'm working with my partners who have been supporting the end period poverty campaign. I've traveled. I've been in the US. I've because again, my friends remain the same. There's a friend of mine who was vying for governor in Mobile County in the US. I've been living. I'm breastfeeding. I'm still breastfeeding. Like, you know, the Senate will not stop me from breastfeeding. Like, these are my breasts. I'm still breastfeeding. So the thing is, life continues. I'm still doing politics.
Yeah.
I mean,
actually, that's the question I was asking.
I'm still doing
Woman
politics.
rep, which party?
I'm vying in Bobasi constituency.
Yeah.
I know. You see, they are asking me women rep because the public is pushing me to come to Nairobi and vie for women rep in Nairobi. I appear very bold. I am very bold. But I'm also very. As Siti said, I think through a lot of things.
Yes, you do.
So what you're telling Esther Passari is, as a panic, you're not coming to Nairobi?
No. Any day. By the way, if I come to Nairobi, Esther Passari is not my competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If I come to Nairobi, I don't see her as a competition. I feel that she has done her work. Her time is up. She needs to move. And I think she feels the same way. I heard she's trying to go to Makadara or Roysambu or wherever. I have no ill
As
feelings
MP.
about her as MP.
Okay.
I think she's done the best she could with that seat. I just think it's time for her to go. And she also thinks the same.
Okay.
And she's not going to be my competition if I was to come to Nairobi. I know there are some players who are trying to. I know people they're waiting for me to say I'm vying in Nairobi because they want to, you know. But I'll be honest with you, I have not changed my position as vying in Bobasi constituency. There's a lot of push from United Opposition to get me to Nairobi, but I am very cautious about a lot of things because I have wanted to lead the people of Bobasi. I don't think that should change by someone telling me
You
Wachana
have
na
wanted
Bobasi.
to represent the people of Bobasi,
Yeah.
and to serve them.
Yes, and to serve them.
Yes.
Yeah, and it can't go overnight. It will take a lot of convincing, a lot of, you know, and people are saying women are not elected there. I mean, it will take a lot. I won't just wake up one morning and say I'm going to go and okay, you know, forget about Bobasi now. I mean, no, that's not what I do. But I have also been doing certain things. I have continued speaking up for the women of Kenya. I've continued being a critic of the wrong things that are happening in government. I have continued highlighting. In fact, I saw some people were conned last week by Alfred Mutua again. I have continued highlighting the things that they kicked me out for, right? But I will not stop. I will not stop.
Right.
I mean, unless of course they kill me, but I will not stop.
All right.
Yeah.
Mwesh, we have come to the end of the show.
Before you come to the end of the show, I have to say this. We
Yes.
never spoke about Jubilee.
Yeah.
I don't come from Jubilee Party. and there's a lot of activities today. We have the Jubilee NDC. I don't know what's going to happen there. We also are not aware of the things that are going to happen. There is I understand going to be an appearance by Dr. Fred Matiang'i at Jubilee. I'm also waiting to see that. I'm waiting to see whether it will be an appearance as a member, an appearance as a party leader, who knows, deputy party leader, presidential candidate. So it's always exciting in any game to get a new entrant.
Okay.
There's a lot of worry of what that means for the united opposition, and validly so. Validly so, because you cannot take away the fact that DCP and Rigathi Gachagua are holding on the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm also waiting to see how the new entrant of Jubilee as a party, in terms of reviving it and all this, is going to give that balance, or throw the balance or whatever. But I also want to say this to the people of Gusii region. No matter where the chips fall, I think this is one of the best times to be from that region.
Okay.
And I think we should not waste that opportunity. And I think we should, it's time that we teach these boys a lesson.
Hey, teach these boys a lesson.
Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, I invite you next week.
We need to teach the boys a lesson. I want that message to sink in.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. I'm not inciting anyone to any violence.
Right.
Lessons can be taught through conversation. Lessons can be taught through abstinence.
Through the ballot.
And through the ballot.
Can we talk next week?
And I'm just saying to the people of Kisii, keep the peace, keep the unity, but teach the boys a lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've not answered my question. Next week?
I can come next week. By the way, they have said I'm jobless. They don't know what I'm doing. So
so you have a lot of time on your hands.
Time is all I have.
All right.
Yeah.
Tumekukaribisha wiki ijayo.
Thank you.
Tutaongea tujue ni siku gani utakuja.
Yeah.
Right, that's where we come to an end. That is Senator Gloria Oruoba, nominated senator. See you on Monday, bright and early at exactly 6 in the a.m.